Hello. Hello. Welcome to Blood and Song Plays Lasers and Feelings Part 2.
Good.
I'm joined here with Brad and Christine and Ryan from the
Hello.
episode a couple of weeks ago.
What up?
And we've got Dan joining us as well, who will be, as you will see, as we'll all see actually at the same time, is coming in as the eponymous, mysterious Captain Darcy. So that'll be fun. You can catch up on the first episode of Blood and Song Plays Lasers and Feelings currently on our YouTube channel and our Twitch, and we will have it up probably while you're listening to this. We'll have it up as a podcast as well. I will do a little quick previously on Blood and Song Does Lasers and Feelings, but the key to remember is that, and we'll go over some of how Lasers and Feelings works as we go through the game. But the key is to remember that some of the game is made up and sort of corralled and forwarded by the players themselves. So I'm also looking forward to you guys re-describing your characters to us and some of your motivations and goals and how that works as we go
Just
through.
Sean's way of saying he's forgotten everything.
I've forgotten everything. So you better check your notes. This is very different
We were
from...
meant to take notes.
It's very different from my regular Blood and Song,
Mhm.
I can assure you. So, well, thank you for joining us, everybody at home. And yeah, looking forward to the final part of this, of Lasers and Feelings. So Lasers and Feelings, essentially, John Harper of 1-7 Design and Evil Hat Gaming, he's created a series of one-shots, but John Harper particularly would be best known for Blades in the Dark. And this is one of their one sheets, I should say, rather than one shots. It's a one sheet. So everything, you can find it by Googling it. Everything you need to know is on the PDF. It's on a one sheet. And the best way to, first of all, you can get multiple different hacks of it. So you can put this world into anything else you can think of. I mean, we are going to have, for the release of Matrix 4, a very special, the virtual and the reality that we've hacked, and we'll put that available to get free off of the DMs Guild as well. But we'll be doing that for the release of Matrix 4, whatever it's called, Matrix Resurrections. It should have been called Matrix Rebooted. We all know that. Doesn't make any sense. That's okay. But so like I said, there's loads of hacks online. You can put this into any world. But essentially the best way to imagine it, the way we're doing it and the way that it says on the one sheet, is that it's like an episode of Star Trek. So it's just the beginning, middle, and end, and archetypes plucked out of that, and they fall on the scale between, let's say, Kirk and Spock. So you have Lasers is Spock. He's very focused on logic and everything, science and other sorts of things, whereas Kirk is emotions and sort of personality and joie de vivre and all sorts of other things. I wonder where our Captain Darcy will fall on that spectrum. But yeah, so, and then you roll based on that. So you pick a number, are you more lasers, more feelings, and then you have to roll accordingly. So, and if you don't know much about lasers and feelings, you'll know more about it as we go along. So, okay, right. The good ship Raptor, exploring space, has had its captain, Captain Darcy, rendered unconscious in the one remaining pod by a thing called mysterious affliction called the something else. While Captain Darcy was immobilized, incapable in doing anything, the ship came across the Hive Armada. I want you guys to refresh everybody at home. The threat of the Hive Armada. What do they want? They want to.
They
and
want
this is all
to.
Go on, Christine.
That's all right. They do. I think they want to bond with an alien artifact that
Yes.
will turn back time.
Yes, that will reverse time.
Should have
And
interrupted. I wanted the share impression, then the full share.
That was good. That's the thing, Brad. That's exactly what they want to do. They want to turn back time. And all of that is rolled. That's rolled at the start of the last game. It's completely random from the table. So that's very exciting. So you can refresh everybody on what happened because you'll remember probably more of your character beats than I will. Let's start with the cold open, anyone in TV who knows about TV will know this is the pre-credit sequence. The cold open. There's all 3 of your characters in a shuttlecraft heading towards the planet. Now, the planet is called. Wait, I have to check my notes for this. The planet is called the planet Wabbajock.
Wabbajock.
Right, it's called the Wabbajock, and this is the planet that allegedly. Bradley's character.
Can you finish the rest of this in like a 1920s announcer's voice that would be announcing an old
B-movie,
claymation like B-movie like sci-fi?
Okay,
Flash
hold on.
Gordon.
But where is Captain Darcy? His pod has fallen to the planet. The planet Wabbajock, where all is not
Where's
as
my
it
theremin?
seems. Hold on, it's difficult to remember and do the accent. Wait a minute. Okay, the Hive Armada is following them closely. They have been partially defeated, but in the throes of defeat, they have ejected Captain Darcy's pod to the planet Wabbajock.
That was very good.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
As the craft that you guys are taking down to the planet has departed, you have a moment to collect yourselves. You may have you don't have any real weapons except for the phasers. You can let me know whether you want to clutch it desperately, whether you have it packed on you, whether you've left it on the ship. But ultimately, the 3 of you are going down on the ship with Jackson. He's there with his huge weapon that Christine's character tried to pry out of his hands last time, but he wasn't giving it up. So as you go down, can you recollect to me your characters and your some of your sort of core traits and sort of how maybe even some of your exploits in the last episode.
Well, it does appear that the planet's atmosphere is easy to be breathable. But then again, what do I know? I'm an android. I don't need air. And then some kind of like Borderlands style snap to, where it will say like, I'll introduce you to PAL 8999, who's the doctor of the android doctor of this crew. Yes,
thank you. And PAL 8999, is that what it was? PAL 8999. Many people, obviously you're following at home very rapidly, they will all remember that you're an android doctor and your character goal was to find love. You want to find love.
The mysteries of the body and the mind come together. I just want to know, what is love?
I want to know what love is.
Right, that's it. We're going to get any more singing and we'll get a DMCA takedown. That's it. Right, we've had Cher already.
Now,
it's going to go.
It's because we're getting closer and closer to just nailing those songs. That's why.
Yes,
So
yeah,
I'm now at any point going to try and put a song pun in now. Sorted. It's the episode of any good TV show currently, and that's been passed. You know, the singing episode.
The musical.
But
Don't you
the
love
musical
it when
episode.
Are we-
Buffy-
Is this planet not Schmigadoon?
Not here. Is it? Right. Okay. Yes. And I remember one of your exploits from the previous episode was in flashback form. You contacted. Did you contact the concierge? You were instrumental in bringing the information of the ship out to the people who were. It was out to Bradley's character who was flying around, and some of the targeting information you sent forward to Christine's character.
Yes,
who was on the gun.
I did two things. Pal used his cool under surgery while they were being attacked to scan the ship, to scan both ships, our ship to see if the thing was on and their ship to find the weakness, sort of like, and gave the best advice that everybody in a spaceship should listen to: never turn off your targeting computer.
Well, speaking of targeting computers, we had both parties remaining were fighting the Hive Armada's ship. They were protecting the top of the Hive, essentially, And Christine, can you describe your character? And Ryan, did we go? Yeah, Pound 8,909 was your name.
Yeah.
Christine, what's your character like?
My character, we don't know whether exactly she's from, but she's called Pin. Say it with me, Pin. You can say Pin. Everyone say Pin. Pronounce it correctly. Now, it has been 2 weeks. You still can't get this right. God damn it. Yeah, it's Pin, but never mind. Anyway, Pin doesn't feel feelings except when that happens.
Yes, for anger. Yeah.
She's very much about the lasers. She's about shooting the bad guys. It's very black and white. They're bad guys, so you shoot them. She gets in if she can find obviously something bigger to shoot the bad guys with. That's obviously logical. So she gets the big things, tries to get the big guns. Did not work. Jackson held on to his. But we did have, I think, a bit of fun shooting the Hive Armadas. What were they? They were little drones or something, weren't they? That flew out the top.
They had drones protecting the basically the key location of the ship. Yes, and you thinned the herd with you were on the cannons, weren't you?
Yep, that's exactly it.
So that was a grand job. And you're a soldier, but you have weapon envy, clearly, with Jackson, who is one of the security officers. And you think, how did he get one of those?
It's very much not logical that I should not have the big gun. Basically it.
Yes, exactly. You're very high on the lasers score. Bradley, your character, however, is very high.
I am the complete opposite.
Score.
And I destroyed the alien ship with the power of my heart. I'm losing my voice.
You're on your own, Bradley. Don't choke. Don't die.
That's how emotional he gets when he thinks about how well he did destroying the Hive Armada.
He got choked up about it. Choked up about it.
Anyone who can see Bradley is.
It was my dad's 60th on the weekend, so I'm still recovering.
It was my dad's 600th on the weekend. I'm still recovering.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a lot toned down voice, I think, or I'm gonna lose it.
Well, maybe he's got.
Can I make a suggestion?
Microbe or something.
In his revelry, one of the drones flew into his mouth and it's got lodged in the back of his throat, and that's why he's a little hoarse.
voiceover artists. They're athletes, mate. He's finding out the hard way.
You didn't warm up before this episode, did you, Brad?
I'm not sure. At least I'm not. I don't know how to, mate. I don't know how to.
I don't know how to.
Oh, you got some experts here. Before, when I did Calcify, I did 20 minutes of warm up to nail that.
I think the problem's not warming up, Ryan. The problem's the copious amounts of alcohol I had on Friday.
Dehydrated.
If anything, that should make your voice more gravelly, and
Yeah, but I can't do it loud. Yeah, I can't do it loud.
Well, I'm sure everyone at home is happy to see what replacement accent you picked for him anyway.
Just a lot more. No, that's going different.
That's all right. We just changed actors in between seasons,
Just a lot more toned down and going more Scottish, I think. Then, because I can't do that one either. I think.
Well, give us his name first. Did you give us his name?
Uglek Buguglek.
Right. I thought it was Ublek Babublek, but I realised all the B's I thought they were all G's. So I'm going to have.
I like to think that in every single time someone's written down his name, they've written it down differently.
And maybe he can't write either, so maybe he doesn't know how to write his own name. So he just let people just go, "Yep, that's it," no matter what. So he's an explorer, but he's also dangerous. Is that right? And he wants to solve.
Takes all of the risks.
Yeah. And at the final moments of the last episode, he shot down into the Hive Armada ship itself and managed to disable it. So you can see it from the port window of the shuttle as it shakes. The shuttle shakes as it enters the atmosphere. You can see the Hive Armada's ship sort of both landing and crashing at the same time. In a distant patch. It's quite far away, but you have Jackson at the, like a watchful eye over the shuttlecraft driver, who's pilot, who's ensuring that you land as close to Captain Darcy's shuttle as possible. So, yeah, okay. I think now is the time, seeing the Hive Armada go down, seeing yourself get closer to Captain Darcy's pod. Is it, Dan, am I giving anything away to ask, is when the craft arrives, whether they'll arrive, are you going to be in the pod?
I'll be just so. I think there's the smash cut just before it goes to rolling front credits. It's like this cylindrical pod with like green fluid on it, and you can't see through the fluid, and then all you see is a hand hit the fluid and scrape down, and then it goes to the.
Love it. So now, before we go into the before we go into the episode proper, I'd like everybody on the count of go 3, 2, 1, go. I would like you all to just give me exactly what you expect the theme tune for this episode to be. This TV series, all at the same time.
At the same time.
Okay.
At the same time.
3,
2, 1, go. Lovely. Oh man, that's getting edited back into the beginning of the previous episode. That's going to be the series theme now. Thank you for that. Okay. The shuttle, it vibrates and you get a bit more turbulence than usual. Jackson, he turns to the pilot, and when Jackson looks back, his face is pallid and white with shock, and you just see him hold his weapon and grip the hand.
Don't worry, I've done this many times before.
Oh, are you flying the shuttle?
Yeah,
down?
Definitely. He's the explorer. He's definitely flying the exploratory
okay,
ship.
Fair enough. So a couple of the lights have gone out then in the cockpit, and what they're doing is they're flashing and they're saying, well, one of them saying landing gear error, and then the other one is saying no landing gear. It's in brackets as well for some reason. So what do you do?
So wait, so they're both. There's one with landing gear, one with not landing gear.
No, it's like a cartoon, and one says landing gear error, and then the other button is almost like a response to it that in brackets says actually there's no landing gear.
Oh, okay.
I guess this is one of the shuttles that guy in the engineering deck last time. I can't remember his name. They're really belligerent.
Can I see as I come in through the atmosphere? Can I see if there's any like water,
filled,
like a lake or something?
Yes, yeah, you can. I think that some of your instruments are telling you that there's water, but because you're going through the atmosphere, you're getting a lot of liquid on the screen. You know, you're getting a lot of rain, and not particularly rain, but just sort of
it's like
heat
wave and stuff.
Yeah,
hitting the atmosphere.
Juice.
So I think that if you can describe to me how you make an emotional, I'll try and give you an easy. If you can describe to me how you make an emotional attempt, a feelings attempt to get this shuttle to a water source, I'll let you roll for feelings.
Okay, the most ridiculous idea in the world. I open the air vents and I try and tell which one has more moisture.
Is it like a little thing on like a car? There's like a little vent.
It's like a roll down window.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay. Let's roll for feelings and let's see how well you do.
That's a 5, so that's one success.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. It's a.
So there's a complication, I think that means, doesn't there?
Well,
Success.
So one success means that you barely manage it. So there is a complication or a harm or a cost, but with one successful dice, you do manage it. So you manage to feel from the vents, and one definitely determines that there's more of a chance of you finding water. I'm going to say that I wanted to have something come out like and alter you in some way, but your voice is already fucked. So it's not like it.
I'd like to. So like when he hits the water and he starts trying to slow it down, he's just getting sprayed in the face. The water's just coming through the air vents.
Yeah, it's really embarrassing, and so I think your complication is that your shuttlecraft does crash land into water and the structure is intact, but you will find very shortly that you are not immediately by Captain Darcy's pod.
And the window's open, so it's flooding, right?
Yeah.
So
well,
Hey,
first,
No,
first
safety,
of all,
You're
safety
still in a
boys
pod,
have
mate.
been
You're still in a
deployed.
pod.
I wanted
Shut
to
up.
ask. No, this is help. This is helpful. I like this. Some antagonistic force. This is what we need in this game. This is your captain, by the way. So,
Did we need this?
so what I want to do is I wanted to find out from Christine and Ryan how your characters
Well,
prepare for a crash landing.
Well, it appears that I'm just gonna. Well, I think
Just as you're going down,
Pal
you're gonna get
8000 sits down in his seat, finds the nearest toolbox and just rivets his feet into the floor.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think Pin's just gonna go. Well, she's gonna brace. She's gonna stick a seatbelt on. There is one.
She's gonna just put her
maybe
seatbelt on.
she's gonna
Yeah.
press the little light that says fasten seatbelts for everyone else. So like it's a bit
That's
like
good.
if it's gonna be comedy shuttle. Maybe we can have one of those like airplane, you know. Like,
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
air
yeah,
hostess
yeah.
going down through the middle as quickly as like strapping herself in.
it's really small. Like the pilot Jackson, they're the four of them. Is it four of them? Five of them are just sort of like they're like, but she's still going to press it so everyone sees the sign.
Yeah.
And then
Love it.
and
Yeah.
clip in and just go. Ready.
Okay. Well, that's extraordinarily sensible. So let's roll 2 dice for that.
Oh.
Ryan, your one is very creative, but you see, because you're 3, where would that fall? That would definitely fall into lasers, wouldn't it? So because that's a very tactical decision. So I want you to roll twice, but it's also very creative. So roll. I'll give you a bonus for that. Roll 2 dice and.
Well, I got a 6 and a 4, so I completely fucked that up.
I have two successes. So.
Oh, lovely. Okay. Okay. So
It's okay. I do not need a seatbelt. I should just secure myself to the floor. All done.
so as you hit the water with 2 failures, Rai, your entire torso and head is thrown from the wreckage with your legs still in the riveted to the ground. You're thrown from the wreckage. We'll find out where shortly.
Bear in mind as well with that other complication. Didn't you say that we're in the middle of the lake?
Yes, and you look, if Dan says it's got to happen, so it's also filling up with water. So, but with a double success,
looks like Team Raptor's blasting off again.
With a double success, you know that the all of the auto seatbelts come off as soon as you're safe. Everybody's able to get out quickly, and if you move quickly, then Pin will be able to get everybody out of the craft without suffering any damage.
Would I be able to get
And
Pal's
Pal's
legs out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With the double success, you can get the legs out if you want to. That's up
She'll
to
do
you.
it with an eye roll, but she'll do it.
Okay, great. So you emerge from the lake. I'd like you guys to explain how you try and get a bearing on your situation. You're on a desert-like planet, classic desert-like Star Trek planet, Star Trek Series 1 planet, the big lake somehow. So maybe, but you don't know why it's there.
It's like a sulfur lake.
Yeah, don't make it harder for yourself.
Oh.
Just because you've been
We've got those
thrown
suits
out.
on, we'll be all right.
So yeah, it's all right for an android that doesn't need to breathe.
So I already scanned the atmosphere and said it was breathable, remember?
Yeah, but it's a sulfur lake.
So yes, you also have with you I'm trying to find, you have a built-in vac suit for spacewalk, so I assume it would filter out any contaminants and stuff as well. You have a sort of communicator device with universal translator and a variable beam phase pistol set to stun usually. So that's just worth bearing in mind. The usually is very cheeky there. You know, can, I assume, be turned into other things. So you're in a sort of valley, and there's a lake, and but there's not much to see from where you are. You're in kind of like a dip, and you need to get your bearings. The 2 of you when you come out of the lake. Ryan, you have ended up maybe 5-6 meters away from Captain Darcy's pod. Problem is you've got no legs. and try as you might.
Can
you're on
I
a-
wait?
you're on a
Wait.
slope.
Now, hold on 1 second.
All you can do is just get to the
because-
edge of the slope with your hands.
Because my arms are slightly longer than my torso, can I like and just hop?
You can, but it's going to take you a while, right? So in the meantime, how do you guys sort of govern? What's your plan? What's your next move? You know the Armada, the Hive Armada's crashed down. You have only what you've got on you, and Jackson is just strode out of the water. Somehow he's topless now. He's emasculating everybody, and he's still got his gun with him. But he's not a ranking officer, right? While he's a security officer, he's there to protect you guys, but he's not a ranking officer. And he says, well, this is a mighty fine mess you got us in, pilot.
We were
Is he
down
basically-
safely. It's not more.
Can I see, is he like the red shirts in the original Star Trek? Do we?
Yeah,
He's
he's
expect
not
wearing
him
shirt
it.
to-
anymore though.
He's tied his red shirt around his waist.
Okay, fair play.
So what does that mean? He's technically a red shirt, but if he's not
Bit like-
actively a red shirt, I mean,
Bit
he
like
didn't die
Family
in the
Guy,
crash,
then
right?
like Ensign Ricky.
He's thrown off his destiny as a red
Yes,
shirt.
exactly. He's cast off his red shirt. He's gone not today, and he's tied it around his waist as a symbol of what he used to be.
Fair play, fair
Um,
play.
So, but he goes, "You're the soldier and the explorer. You must know where we need to go."
Well, he is the explorer. So this comms is a scanner as well, isn't it? This thing. I'm assuming that if Captain Darcy is in a pod, it will have some kind of beacon. Logically,
Mhm.
lasers.
Mhm.
So I imagine our scanner would be able to pick that beacon up.
Yeah, I'd say
Cool.
that's a. It's up for debate whether you're prepared because it's already part of your kit. But I mean, I'd say that's 2 dice rolls to see whether it's logged with water or not. Let's see how well these
Oh.
things do, and to therefore pick up the signal of Darcy.
What century are we in? Is it like Buck Rogers? And the
have they not
25th
got an IP
century?
rating?
Remember, we're in
Duck-
some
duck
knockoff.
dodgers in there.
We're
for
in
dust,
some
but
knockoff
not
shit.
for
So
water. Yeah.
Sure, yeah, everything's a bit knockoff. Oh, that's a win. That's less than a 5. That was 2, and that was a 3. Hooray!
Hey. Okay. So what's that? That's a single success, is it?
That's 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay, lovely. Wonderful. Well, not only does it ping out the location of Captain Darcy, it pings out the image of an android with half a body trying to desperately bounce his way over to Captain Darcy's pod.
Can I imagine that his legs are like upright, like when you watch what's
Are they
it,
walking along with
Bender-
you?
with Bender, and he's just like and she's just tying a string around him just to tug him in the right direction because he can't tell where he's
it's
supposed
like,
to go.
Onward.
like the wrong trousers from Wallace and
Exactly like
Gromit.
Like the
Onward.
wrong
Exactly
trousers,
like
yeah.
Onward.
Oh.
So onward, yeah.
I hope this
so I
goes
guess
into the pantheon of Onward and the Wrong Trousers, our game of lasers. And
how
Feelings.
much how much closer is Pal versus Captain Darcy? Is Pal on the way?
Pal, I think you'll probably get there. You guys have been rolling well. You'll get there at the same time, I expect.
Okay.
But from Pal, I'm wondering if Dan can tell us what he can see as he's hobbling towards the pod.
So is he, as they're all hobbling towards a pod, it opens up like shower doors. It's like really poor. Like how did that survive space? And all this green liquid comes out and lit from behind, so silhouetted until he walks out. Is Captain Darcy, who strides forward in a red leather jacket with like one of those really long belts that comes round dangling down. He's wearing what looks like a bootleg Metallica t-shirt and a red and gold cravat, a cowboy hat, riding trousers, cream riding trousers, and knee-length DM boots with spurs on the back. And he stands and puts one leg up on a nearby rock and just looks out in the distance as the slime disappears behind his legs.
The slime washes away. Is that what you're saying? Slime.
Yeah,
sort
slime
of
sort of comes
back
out
into
of
the pod.
Yeah, back in.
You
Yeah.
hear
No,
faintly
out
in the
into the-
distance. Oh, Captain, you set my heart on fire!
Good to see you all, fellas. God, that was quite a rough landing. Just gonna pass out for a second. Okay, I'm back. 8999. Good to see you, pal. How you doing? Where's your legs?
Well, now I fully understand what it means when you say I got legless last night.
Always a funny one. I slap him on the back and knock him over.
I go flying back down the hill.
Back down to crawl back up.
Oobleck, get your ass up here. Great to see you.
I'm trying. I'm a little bit out of
What's happened to your
breath.
voice? You trying something new?
Yes, it's called alien. What's it called? Insemination? No, that's not right.
Someone else.
We can talk about that. That's something I'm used to. Pin, how's it going?
Oh my God, Captain, it's so good to see you.
Good to
He's
see
so
you too.
respectful. He always gets the name right for
That's
once.
right.
You
How could
always-
anyone get that name
you
wrong?
never got it wrong. Not once.
Such a
You got it-
beautiful name. You could say it
Ah.
100 ways and it's always beautiful.
Oh, God love you. But there is one way that would insult my mother.
That's right. Who would
side
say
eye.
it like that?
Side-eye
Ridiculous.
Oglak. I know it's ridiculous.
I've
but
never said
mind.
pen in my life.
No, you just said it. Don't say it.
Oh,
Jesus. Oh, what's Jackson doing here?
Captain, I promised you on your sick bed that you were stricken with, what was it again? The something else? That's what
right.
everybody was telling me.
Yeah,
It's called the something
sure.
else.
Thing is, Jackson, I'm just going to stop you right there. I got a ping on my computer about someone trying to be captain in here. Here, look,
yeah, well, I
let
told
me-
them they didn't
look,
have the paperwork.
your weapon looks a bit. Can I just grab that for a second?
Of course, sir.
He's like-
Anything you need.
Okay, it's just that someone was trying to be captain, right?
Oh,
I
well,
can confirm.
That's
sir,
right.
that,
And so
Jackson's right
Captain
there.
Darcy puts the gun right in Jackson's chest and pulls the trigger. Blows his chest out.
Oh man.
I didn't read the whole paperwork, but he sent me something about being a captain. So
Oh no!
You know I
just
don't
read
take that shit.
You just read the subject line that said like
Yeah.
trying to be captain.
trying to be captain, yeah.
Oh no! And then in the whole
your
thing was
absence.
all of his paperwork. He sent
So I'm
like
really
a
hoping
multi-tiered thing.
That in my absence, no one was actually trying to be captain apart from him, right?
Oh, no, Captain. No, no.
No,
Sure,
we would
'cause you know
never
what I
try
do
and
to them,
take your
right?
job.
You
You're the
are true.
captain.
You're true,
Good.
Captain. It's okay.
Fine.
So we have not had a conversation beforehand. I did not know that this was how Captain Darcy was going to turn out, but now it's very interesting.
It's his grim
Um,
reputation, right?
Yes, he did have a great reputation, of course.
So with his just a nonchalant flick back, he throws the gun towards Pin. Right, you're in charge now. If I die, it's your fault.
Okay.
Oh, hang
Okay.
on. Okay, I'm back.
Captain, I'm just asking. Do you think there's something else is still affecting you? Maybe. Maybe
Probably.
slightly?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, can
Okay.
I give the captain a scan?
Yeah, but I suppose it would be. It's interesting when you interact with another character. It's how much does Captain Darcy want the scan to reveal? I guess because I don't know what your previous relationship's like.
I'm the crew doctor, right?
Do you regard? Does Captain Darcy regard
let-
there being like that sort of relationship between doctor
I'll
patient?
let him. He's going to scam me, whatever, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'll let him
go
scam
on.
me.
Right, that's one dice to see if you can roll lasers.
Is it because I'm doing something based on my profession?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, you're right. You're right. If you're doing this physiology, that's two. Yeah, you're right.
That's a 1, which is good. And a
One's
2.
very good, isn't it? One's a critical
Mm.
success. Is that how it
No,
works?
it's got to be his number.
Yeah, I
Oh,
got
sorry,
to
you're right.
my
I'm
number.
glad you remembered. Yeah, thanks.
So it's 2. So yeah, I scan him.
Two
What do I
successes.
find
It scans
out?
up. You notice that he's fractured his shin bone. His right knee is dislocated, but you can see it as it scans the dislocation. He twists his leg and like knocks it back in, passes out for a second, comes back again. There's a very impressive bleep as it goes past his pelvic region.
What's
And
the
like
list?
Batman, it shows up 9 abs as he goes up over the abs.
Yep.
And as it gets to his face, he's like, "See, I'm just fine," and he knocks
you-
down the
are you
knocks down the
still-
scanner.
Are you still down the hill? Yeah. Are you still taking those medication for the groin thing?
That's right. Yeah, something's got to
Good.
keep it in check, hasn't it? Otherwise, I'd be rampant.
He's preparing for his reduction. Um, Yeah, and I also think that there is you because with 2 successes, you do seem to see something abnormal on the scanners. Like error every so often, but
That's
you
just
know
before he
there's-
slaps it down at you.
Yeah, and you sort of you're not quite sure what that means. I think a safe assumption is that it's perhaps the throws or echoes of the something else, but you haven't had time to do a full diagnostic. You don't have time to do all of your battery of tests. He's almost exactly the captain that you left.
Hey, you might want to run that on yourself. Looks like you got no legs.
I assume I've put my legs back on already at this point. If I have to run down the hill and back again. Or are you saying when you hit the scanner, it knocks
Yes.
my top half off and my legs are just still there?
I like to think at this point nobody's helping him put himself back together.
Oh, absolutely
every
not.
time.
This is normal.
Oh man!
Here, Ublek. Looks like we need to go find those bloody Hive Armada.
Oh yes,
It's true when they say that it's in the heart. So let's go. You're our point man. Pin, make sure you're shooting things that don't move and don't look like us.
We'll head that way, and I pick a direction at random.
Oh man! Hey, listen, Bradley picked the right character because that is full feelings. So if he wants to get a good roll on that, that's fine.
Okay. As an explorer, then.
Yeah,
following
no,
my heart.
yeah,
Two
okay.
dice.
Obviously, I'm helping him by inspiring him to. I
Listen,
trust him.
You can roll 3 dice for that.
Read 3 dice.
The first 3 dice of the game. Let's see.
Oh, that's one on the floor. Roll that again. So that's a 2. So I've hit my number, and then 2
lovely.
successes. with
Okay,
a
no,
4
so
and a
that's
5.
3 successes. One of them are critical.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, okay. You can see the Hive Armada ship has crashed. You can see that they are moving towards a certain point, and as a sort of drone, like a line of ants as they chart a path, and someone will go off and look for the path, and then they'll move back, and then they'll all follow the correct path. You can see them aiming for a large structure, and with the critical success, first of all, you can ask me a question, but with the 3 dice success, you know that you can get there before them if you aim for this structure, and you can suss it out way before they get there if you make a move now. On this planet, I'd like somebody to describe what this structure looks like. It's sort of like a temple, but it's not like a temple that you would imagine that you would have seen in any of the science fiction shows we've seen.
I think it's a temple that it's had like one huge tower built, and then for congregation, it's got 2 domes that sit right up against it at the bottom.
No, because I know exactly what
see where you're
shape
going
that
with that.
makes.
I do too.
Christine's
Anyway,
shaking her head, and that's the
whatever-
first time she's ever done that with us. So that's got us a step too far.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. It's
Well,
certainly
why
turned
doesn't
into
it
Rick and
also
Morty
have a sort
rather
of,
than
an ingress
Trek.
or whatever it's called, an egress, whichever one it is? Maybe also next to it, it's got a sort of, let's say, a line in the ground, a chasm, a sort of a big cut into the ground, and it's like a long. I'm trying not to say the word slit, but then so that it's next to that.
crevice?
Yes, there's a crevice. There's a large crevice
Just
in
a
the ground
canyon
as
or
well. A
something?
canyon.
There's
There
hundreds
you
of
go.
There are
words.
many of
Like,
them.
no, I
And
couldn't get
do
the
you
words
know
out
what?
of
We've
my
had
head.
this conversation before as well.
We have
That's such a
100%
horrible
had
word,
this
isn't it?
conversation before.
So that's next to it, just to even it out. So it's got both sets of it. When you look at it from the sky, it's both sets of genitalia. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So
That makes it better for sure.
it does, doesn't it? In a way.
In a way,
Well,
Honestly,
makes it worse.
I
So
cannot express to you guys how much
Listen, you
I
give me
love
you give
how
me the
relevant that is
example.
to what's going to happen. So,
It's true.
yes.
so we
Yay. Which, in a
So-
way, can we say that it's really obviously like a watercolor drawing that is in just like the old Star Trek series
Oh,
when they
yeah,
used to do all
Love
the
it.
world scans.
it's
That
just a
was-
matte painting. You can just tell
Yeah.
in the distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all. I
Let's
just
do that.
watched what film did I watch the other day? 10 Commandments, and it's a classic, but you can see the black outline where they've been cut out of the
And
background.
everyone can see that the art director off camera is just like sniggering to himself.
Yeah, or it's
Or-
like so
or
he's
there's
some
a
kind of
little
Geiger
paintbrush
type,
still
isn't
in
he?
the corner.
To be fair, I had an ex's parent who designed a machine that looked like a Cyberman from
Wow.
Doctor Who,
Doctor
and
Who.
it got put into production. So you know,
Ah, that's
Pretty
awesome.
cool.
I mean, no, it was like, as in, it's a medical equipment that
Oh,
he's
Jesus.
designed, that he's very subtly designed to look like.
Oh, right.
like a
Wow.
I
Cyberman.
thought you meant
Cooler.
it got in Doctor Who. I thought that
no,
was cool enough.
no,
but
it's
no,
like
no,
it's
fair
in
enough.
some hospital somewhere, scanning people.
There's a
It
whole
looks like a
world.
And
Cyberman.
everybody thinks it's a coincidence, but
Yeah.
actually it was fully designed to look like a Cyberman.
A
Right.
mini tangent, but there's loads of technology and stuff that's made to look like Star Trek stuff because the geeks watched Star
Yeah.
Trek when they were growing up
Flip phones.
and they've become scientists.
Yeah, it's true. iPads.
Holograms.
Yeah.
Something about
Yeah,
holographic
totally.
rooms where they've got those lines in
Who
them
blow up
for no reason.
dolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Ah,
Ryan's obviously, well, he's channeling the android character who wants to find love, so that's totally
Yeah.
fine. So yes, so some sort of designer, some sort of budget rate Giga has created these sort of weird. So this thing is very sort of organic in nature. Let's say, and I mean this in a non sort of disgusting way, like a fertility. It's like a big fertility statue. Is what it looks like from a distance.
That turns back time.
so like does anyone watch the film Barbarella? Absolutely
No,
everything is
no.
sexual.
Is it?
I've not
Anyway,
seen
carry
it.
on.
Let me just add that to my list of films to watch tonight.
It's such a brilliant B movie. This is terrible.
Well, I hope that I've only seen the poster, but I'm going to sort of channeling that anyway into this episode. So
Yeah.
you are heading towards this huge monument, let's say. And yeah, okay. No, I've just thought that maybe on the backside, like it's so big that obviously it looks like a penis in some ways, but you look at the backside and it's got the effigy of the female form, you know, like you get those fertility dolls that are like, you know, sort of the female fertility dolls. Let's not downplay that part of the role in the fertility.
Let's make it cultural. It'll be fun.
Yes,
This is half of the episode here describing the temple.
it's turned into that now, hasn't it?
I'm here for it.
Anyway, it's you need to make a beeline to it, and you know you can get there before the Hive Armada if you wish to, and set up and sort of assess it way before they get there if you make a beeline for it, if that's what you want to do.
I think yes. I think that would be good because I think that's probably where the artifact is, and we know that it's not good if they get it. So, you know, maybe we should get it first.
Yeah,
Well,
Dan.
we should probably head there anyway. Sure.
This is probably logical.
Well, logic's got nothing to do with it, has it?
I mean, while you're all chatting, Oodlex picked his spot and he's already walking that direction towards
Is he
it.
walking in the
Before you
right
go,
direction?
Yeah,
I
luckily,
need
the random direction is in the
Dan
right
to
direction.
roll a feelings roll for
Mhm.
me, please. Just a single
Sure.
roll.
Ooh, I did fail that. I rolled
You
a 1.
failed.
I rolled a 1.
You will know that Jackson's wife and 3 kids are still on the ship, and someone has to explain to them when they get the admin back
Yeah.
of what's happened. Someone will have to explain to them and put it in the
So
report.
I'd like to think it's like
Well-
an automatic printout when someone flatlines.
Well, Pin, that's going to be a really awkward conversation for you when we get back, but not the first one you've had. Also, I can probably comfort her, so you send her to my room.
Okay.
Words. You know, that's what I call it. Ray! Hold, hang on. Yep, let's keep going.
And you head over the dunes towards the effigy, towards the temple, the monument. As you do, you come to a canyon, and you pass through this canyon. It's the only way to travel, and you're hearing bird call as you go through. Just sort of generic sort of bird call, but you're not quite sure about the.
These
sort of,
birds sound strangely like a man cawing.
Would you like to investigate that
Hey.
further, or would you just like to let the wonderful sound pass by?
I'd
with,
say as an explorer, you're well versed in birds of a feather.
Oh yes, this the famous man bird.
I don't want to meet this now if it's actually a thing.
So
it's
okay, I'll
quite
tell you
big,
what.
quite scary.
It has to be lasers, though, unfortunately. But I'd like you. But you can roll. You're an explorer. Roll 2 dice to see if you can get a lasers with it.
I get a failure and another 2, so 1 failure, 1 crit success.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, with the critical success, you know, and you have 2 questions to ask me, by the way, in a sec.
Yeah, I'm still stumped on the first one. Never mind.
So ask me anything. That's really. It's very interesting to do this as opposed to like with D&D, you have to do a specific spell. I find it really interesting. Do you know why I think it's useful? I think it's there so that the DM can invent stuff. So you can just ask me questions and I'll try and flesh out the world with it, essentially, is what I think it is. So you know with your critical success that it's not only is it the call of a person, but this is not an indigenous bird to this type of wildlife. And you've even heard a pattern within the cacoring that indicates a back and forth between, like, we're in a sort of code, basically, is what you're hearing. So it's not random.
First question then. Does the Hive Armada have a queen that is overseeing, controlling everything, or like a king, queen, leader? Because it's a hive, isn't it? So it has to have a direction.
You would know that the Hive Armada has a queen. You don't know if the Hive Armada queen always travels with this particular ship. You don't know if it's the mothership of
so
the.
It's not it's not the mothership, maybe.
You just don't know that for sure. You can't say at this point. You don't know if the Hive Armada Queen attends like every one of these sorts of things, or if they're back at a home planet somewhere. At this point, you're not sure, but you do know that there is a Hive Armada Queen. Yes. You have another question?
No, I'm going to hold off for now because I can't think of one.
Okay.
These birds are not. They're communicating. I think we should be careful. I don't.
Sounds wise.
Yes.
Good listening. Well done.
Are we inside the crevasse?
You are. Another word I could have used earlier on. But you're in the crevasse. Yeah.
Is it tight? Have we got
Feels like a perfect place for an ambush.
And at that exact moment, as if by magic, I think you have a split second to react, as you often do in. This isn't like a sort of the dwarf breathes so loud I could have shot him in the dark. It's not like there's an arrow in front of your face and suddenly like.
Oh what's that?
That's from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, was it? Fair enough.
Yeah.
Because like somehow they like appear in front of them, with like an arrow.
It's in Mutwood Forest.
You are you are surrounded. You are surrounded in the top of the ridge, and people have rappelled down the ridge. Figures have rappelled down the ridge. They have weapons, and they look like they're about to corral you, apprehend you, stop you. You each have a split second to react. What do you do?
I'm gonna topple over.
Brilliant.
What do you mean? What, like play dead or what?
Down
like...
mode, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna make my top.
He's a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah. Just gonna make my top half full off, and so my legs will still stay standing there.
Top half falls off. Love it.
Great.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Is there anybody that looks sort of, I don't know, they got a brightly coloured hat or something that says that they're the big cheese? Or the commander or the sergeant or something? Is there some kind of insignia?
In the split second, you're not able to see it in the split second.
Okay.
But you might be able to do something that could bring the leader out, or you might be able to maybe, I don't know, apprehend one of them so that you can threaten. Maybe you can quickly grab one of them, if that's your style, or something that will alert the leader and allow you to sort of get some face time with the leader.
I think I'll probably dive for cover if there is any around us, and then try to start picking them off with Jackson's big gun. So they're bad guys. They're obviously bad guys because they're obviously attacking us. That's logical, and I've got to shoot all the bad guys. So
okay,
Captain's
let's see how
orders.
this all plays out once you've all.
Captain Darcy's going to do a Shatner roll to the right, and as he does so, you can see him scoop up. Or they can't, but the camera zooms in on him scooping up a handful of dirt and sand in his hand, and as he rolls behind the rocks, he takes his hat off and leaves it on a rock next to him and keeps rolling.
Very nice.
Stays down.
Uglek
who's
does the
the
only
next?
thing
Uglek.
Uglek knows how to do in a fight. Charge!
Great. Right. Okay. I would say that. Yeah, I think you all need to roll for what you're doing, but let's say it's so difficult to pick what. I don't mind you guys trying to justify it to your your.
Well, I definitely went off
speciality.
instinct. Whoosh. I'm
Yeah.
trying to
I-
deceive them.
One dice each, I
Obviously-
think. I don't think there's anything spectacular. that you guys are
Detaching my
doing,
body is obviously a very lasers thing, but I rolled a 3, so
Oh,
I
lazy feelings.
critically successfully
They think you've
popped my body
killed
off.
yourself.
And as my question to the DM,
Uh-huh.
are these people hostile?
Oh, very nice, Dan.
There's 2 critical laser feelings, so
Wow,
I'll come
okay.
after him.
I think I'll answer that in a moment. I'll answer that once we've done this circuit of activity. And what about you two, Christine,
I-
Brad?
I got a success.
Yes.
So if I'm going for lasers as tactical shoot
Mhm.
bad guys, then that's a win.
Yeah, definitely.
One regular success, so I don't get shot immediately.
Nice. Okay, good. Okay, so what happens with this success? I think it plays out a bit like this. So, Christine, your character Pin, fires at the one guarding who's just dropped in the entrance, essentially to the canyon. You have the sense that there are guns on you from above, and you know that there's someone who's dropped behind, but you fire at the person in front because you assume that perhaps they're the gateway to the leader. The leader always is at the front somewhere, right behind a couple of peons. What happens is next is Dan's character, Captain Darcy, dive rolls, puts his hat down, absolutely slip as the hat gets struck by some kind of energy weapon.
Ah, that really hurt.
Oh, that's good. And obviously, with a complete utter success, Ryan's top half slides off like a terrible B movie where somebody just cuts someone in half really quickly and they just slide directly off out of harm's way, and your legs are below the sort of firing line of anyone. So you've made a complete success of that. What's really good about everybody's successes is it means that Uglek, with his charge, actually bats the first person down into a prone position, and the bullet that was fired, or the laser, the charge shot that was fired by Pin, glances their shoulder. So instead of killing them, it just glances that person's shoulder, and Uglek pins that person to the ground.
This one is mine! Gun out, shoot him.
Okay.
with phasers to stun. This is a family-friendly
Very
film.
good.
Well, it is, but cold blood, point blank. So I would hope that. Bear in mind also
It's
the
gonna be
captain has
stunned.
just
like
shot.
It's gonna
like
hurt.
like a taser, like a taser.
Taser him.
Also, I'm kind of sad that nobody said something along the lines of like, "Now he's really got a red shirt," or like after he got shotgun blasted in the chest or whatever.
Captain Darcy gave so little shits about Jackson, he didn't even
He
get a
didn't
dying
even
line.
have
Do
a
you know what I mean?
pun.
That's how useless.
Um,
He took his red shirt off.
Yeah, it's true. He thought he was bigger than his
It was
boots,
above his,
didn't
his
he? Yeah,
station.
exactly.
Going for the black shirt.
So as that person is stunned, you hear the cries, muffled cries of someone up on a rock nearby, and they start shouting, "Oh, no, stop," like that. What do you guys want to do?
I would like to scan the area to see how many people there are. See what's taking them.
Ublek, that was to stun. Ublek, that was to stun.
I think it
Ben,
was to stun.
stop fucking shit. Stop shooting. I'm stood up right here.
I'm really sorry. You didn't have your hat on, so I couldn't tell it was you.
I put my hat on.
Sorry.
It's got like a the comedy hole all the way through it.
What did
Right,
you say,
I've got
Ryan,
the
you
hat
wanted
on.
to do?
Stop shooting.
I want to scan. What's going on.
Okay. Give us a quick roll. Let's see. Roll for lasers. Let's see what you determine.
I see shit. Oh, I got 5.
Okay.
Oh, I
You-
left my scanner in my pants.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So instead, what happens is, as you're doing that, a long rifle, sort of space rifle, all sort of like ragged and covered in sort of stealth gear for the desert, rags and so on, gets placed upon your torso, your legless torso and head, and you that's with your failure, and you know exactly what's happening now the hard way. And that's that you're being ambushed. But the person who has the gun to your head they have a mask on that covers everything except their eyes, and their voice is very unusual, as if it's going through a voice changer. But they look like they're in fear. They look like they're scared.
Oh, well, that is a very good thing that you should be doing that, because there's a whole thing going around, and wearing a mask is a really good way to stop it getting into your lungs. Just make sure you ask Oobleck over there. He recently has something caught in his throat by the Hive Armada, and now sounds different.
Speaking of which, Oobleck, can you smell okay?
Yes, I can smell fine.
Okay, look, I think we all got off to a bad start here. You jumped down on us. We shot you. Oobleck's screaming bloody murder.
Yeah,
Well,
the guy that I stunned, I'm now gonna set phasers to kill and just like hold him hostage at the same time.
Okay, look, we got two sides. Everyone's a little bit upset. Why don't we just sit down and have a drink?
I'm already legless.
My wife. You must release my wife first.
You release my robot, and I'll release your wife. Plus, you owe me a hat.
Where does that fall on the scale, Dan? Though, that
I'm
feels
just trying to
like
chill people out. I don't mind
feels
either.
like lasers. I think.
Am I being
so.
logical? Fine.
Yeah, I think so. One roll for. Very nice.
Captain Darcy's on fucking fire today.
All right. Okay. You also have questions, right? Does that mean you've got two?
I've got
questions
two
to ask me?
questions now.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll think of them.
The critical success. It has to be fairly soon, though, or they'll expire.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think, 'cause the idea is that you ask
How
them
can
in
I
the-
get them on side?
You can you recognize in the tone of voice and in their gear that they look more like nomads, or they're covered in sort of rags rather than armor. So you can tell that they're not very good at this, but you can tell that they wanted to scare you, stop you, push you away. They didn't actually want to attack you. So I think sort of acquiescing to them and showing sort of that they're okay will make the situation okay. That's the answer to the question.
Listen, people. The Sand people are easily startled, but they'll soon be back in greater numbers. We should get them on our side.
Who are you calling sand people? You know that's racist.
Look, I'm from an era where I call a spade, and so look, we just need to. You trying to scare us? We scared you. Everyone's scared, except for me, of course. And we just need to not be scared. There's scarier things coming down here. Tell them about it, Oobleck.
Yeah, they are stuck in my throat. Scary stuff.
Why did you kill my wife?
She's not dead yet.
What do you mean yet?
Well, if you put down gun from the robot, then I put down gun.
So the figure unclicks the gun to sort of take it off of the firing mode, but doesn't yet remove it. You can see that they're shaking a little.
Okay, I don't think so. She's not dead. She's not dead. She's fine. She's gonna have a bit of a headache. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. But you know, it's all right.
Can I sort of kick her lightly so that she like moans?
It's fine. You say she's alive. That's fine. That's a medical test. So you know that's all right. And
I concur.
So if you are free, like, do you live here? Is this you, where you live? Or she
So
points at the incredibly phallic, but not phallic at the same time because it's feminine temple.
it's the non sort of
No,
gender
it's the phallic, but
specific
not phallic.
fertility.
I loved the
symbol.
disdain in your voice,
Just
Christine.
saying.
Just brilliant.
Are you guys a bit fruity? What's this? Huh? What's this? Hey, come on.
We'll answer your questions, but only after you release my wife.
Look, she can't stand up right now. But if you want to come over and get
Neither
her,
can
feel
I.
free. Yeah, exactly. We're both in the same position. You come over, grab her, give her a kiss, and whatever you people do. By the way, what should we call you?
Oh, at that point, the gun gets lowered. You see the person in defeat. They hold a hand signal up that sort of says, put your weapons down. All of the figures around you put their weapons down, and this person, this figure takes their mask off, and I need a name, a description, and an accent.
Okay.
Oh mate.
Oh,
it
we
could be
already
so cool.
gave. What did we?
Sade is the name.
Okay.
They looks insectoid with like a predator mouth.
Okay.
Okay.
Jesus.
And then
and speaks with a lot of clicks.
That is literally impossible, isn't it?
No,
just
no,
like
no.
do it every now and again, and then something like that. Do it.
Okay. Okay.
Now
Do
you
it.
know what Johnny feels.
I
when
know,
someone does
I
speak with
know.
animals.
But like with Johnny, it's like I'll do a voice that's like a little bit silly or whatever. With me, I've got to do some kind of click-based insect voice.
Do this. All right.
Okay.
that's
Well, I'll
very
give you that.
clever, actually, Christine.
See,
I like
I am good.
It's good, isn't it?
it's pretty smart.
So the figure is like classically, like you get aliens in Star Trek, they're either like male or female, doesn't matter what they look like, you just know if they're blokes or women. They don't bother with like making them sort of anything but sort of binary, do they? And like the female ones, the male ones, and then the captain or his second in command is always going to knock off with the sexy looking weird alien female and all this sort of stuff. So you can tell that this is a female based sort of alien. And they go, I don't know what I'm doing with my hands in my mouth. I'm trying to do like a.
Do it. Can't wait. This is it.
My name is Sade. And this is my wife.
My wife.
This is my wife,
Dave.
Dave.
Bravo. Like really
Very impressive.
bravo.
Very, very impressive.
Thank you.
You get inspiration.
And yeah, and I assume at this point you can see that you see that they're non-threatening. This is just how it works. You just know straight away. Oh, these are they might stab you in the back or betray you later, but right now these guys are totally legit. They're sort of. She looks kind of kindly and meek, and you can see that. And she says,
We are the guardians of the temple. We just wanted to keep the land safe for the return of the one.
Okay. So what does that mean? The return of the one?
and
My husband Dave will know more. I'm not the warrior, as you can see.
Okay. You
I
Dave.
sort
thought,
of
husband
get down
Sade.
and straddle Dave and slap him. Wake up, Dave! We have questions.
I don't know which one's which now. Is Sade the guy, and then is
Just for
Dave
the rest of
girl?
you, I've
thought they were
had some
both
dealings.
women.
I've had some dealings with these people, and the word we have husband and wife, but they just mean spouse. It's a mistranslation for the translator.
Okay. Okay.
Can somebody put me back
I
on
know
my
this
notes,
because
please?
I've had both husbands of wives.
The
Woof.
virile one speaks the truth.
did you get that? Can I keep
Yeah,
doing
that was
that?
great.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
keep
yeah,
doing
yeah.
that. It's
I
wicked.
like it.
If you can't understand, I want to make sure that because saying virile is extremely difficult when I
Very
put my
good,
little fingers
very
in my
good.
mouth.
You did very well.
Yes. So Dave stands up, and you realize that the males in this species, they don't have the clicks, do they? They just don't make that clicking sound.
Fair
gee,
enough.
fair
Their
play,
ma-
fair
their-
play.
I assume their
convenience.
mandibles they're cut out and turned into weapons that they fight with. That was...
Well, you don't quite know this, but they're actually sort of castrated at birth, the males, and their mandibles are also their organs, and they are
Yep.
castrated.
Well, they're
so
not
it's
called womandibles, are they?
I like
Jesus.
that. That was good. That was
But
almost.
man means hand, isn't it? As in like the Latin.
What is it?
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
about
was
that.
like,
I-
where
I-
do you get
I-
mandibles?
I went to a
Look, it
dumb
was a good
school,
pun. It
Christine,
was a
all
good
right?
pun.
Oh, it's a
Yeah,
good
we went
pun.
to
It's a good
Perth.
pun.
It was a good pun, ruined by Christine's science
so
and logic.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
They're supposed to be feelings, man, not
no, more
lasers.
lasers,
No,
man.
she's
I'm all
lasers.
lasers.
No, you are all
Lasers.
lasers. Yeah,
Lasers.
sorry, yeah. Whatever.
It's in character. Do I get inspiration? No. Okay. Wrong game. Wrong game.
So Dave stands up and he says, there's still a little click in there. I don't want to
Yeah,
let you
yeah,
guys down.
fine,
I'm not
yeah,
going to piss you
thanks.
out. No, sorry, I don't mean to say that. I'm not going to let you guys down. So he goes, the one. What? We're just looking for the one.
Aren't we all? Especially this robot.
Yes, I definitely am doing that. I find the concept of the one really interesting. I once heard about a one person who tried to travel to find themselves in many different areas. They were jetting around the place.
No.
I wanted
I
to
know.
let
I
that
get that.
hang
I
for
get
later
that one.
because I didn't get it. But
I don't get
No,
it.
Jet Li, the one.
no, that's
Oh, no,
Are you not impressed that I got that
I
right?
am,
I am
That
really
first-
impressed you
the
got
world-
Both that joke
struggled.
was made and got.
the world's introduction to Jason Statham, man.
Yeah, strong.
No,
Real strong.
no, surely the.
It was lock,
the
stock,
transport.
right?
I mean, to be
It
fair,
was Lock, Stock,
yeah, and he
Stock,
was
yeah.
he was a diver before that, wasn't he? So yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, he was.
there you go.
Doesn't
Fun
knit
fact.
like Tom Daly though, does he? So
Mm.
No.
yeah, all
That's why
like
he's not world
Christine,
famous.
as evidence.
Christine.
Last time.
That's still
Yeah.
that. They're still there. I've got to post it to you. I will post it. Carry on.
My neck's
Um,
getting cold.
So,
I thought you'd be all right. in
I'll
all
tell you
this.
what's better than finding the one. It's finding the one today, right now, and then another one half an hour later. Sometimes 2 ones at once, or 3. Ah! Yeah.
is
Hold
your
on.
friend okay?
Can I
Oh, he's always like
can
this.
I attempt something? As
Mhm.
as a Ile Docte, I keep seeing Darcy pass out anytime he mentions something sexual. Can I
You think the blood rushes from his from his head to his penis?
can I check to see if this is a correct pattern or not?
I suppose so. You can roll to
Alright.
check for it for sure. And then
Would you say as a doctor I might be an expert in this?
Yeah,
Worryingly,
you would
I'm
be.
worrying.
You'd
I
roll
didn't
2
notice I was
dice.
doing that, but that's
You can roll
That's
2
a
dice, but I think
perfect
Captain
character
Darcy.
trait.
Hey,
can
listen,
tell
an
you the
expert's 3
result.
dice.
You're not prepared though, are you? So it's
No, prepared's 1, expert is 2. I'm a doctor.
Yeah,
I'm a
I'd
doctor,
say,
man.
I'd say
No,
you're
it's
not
per-
prepared, but you are an expert. So that's
So you get 2.
overall.
All right, well, that is.
And Captain Darcy gets to tell you whether there's a
Mhm.
correlation. I think.
Oh, that's off the table.
Bradley,
got
can
1
you
success,
yawn
1
less
failure.
obviously, please? Can
No,
you just can
no,
you
I
yawn
can't,
with like
no.
just to make it look like you're not
No,
completely
I might
exhausted?
even
You have
throw fake yawns in now, just to keep
Yeah.
it lively.
You have to do it through the nose. You go like.
No, because then I'll get cramp on my neck.
I got one success and 1 failure.
okay.
Okay.
So it's definitely something new for Captain Darcy. This is not a new. This is not an old thing. And as he passes out, you can also hear, like, if you listen, you can hear whispers on the wind.
Okay,
Okay.
interesting.
But before you have time to pass that, you hear Dave say in his sort of calm and collected way, "May I apologize for my other wife? Please
Otherwise,
come back to our temple for some hospitality."
That would be nice.
Your temple looks like it's being invaded by the Hive.
Yes, I think actually we
You
could
know
go
of the
inside.
Hive?
Do you have big doors?
Also,
yes.
I
Do
I
actually
don't,
know
That
the
ship.
Hive.
Oh.
Also, I don't drink any tea. I am an android.
Wife, did you know about?
Yeah, you
And
should
he
probably
goes,
start getting some defenses going.
Yes, I heard the android doesn't drink tea. What are you going to get to instead?
No, wife. I heard. Now I know when Johnny has to converse between his own NPCs.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just like watching you play with all your toys.
yeah.
As a younger brother, I know that feeling quite. If I was playing with my toys as well.
Hey man, what's yours is mine, and what's mine is my own. That's the creed of the older brother, the older sibling. So okay, so Dave has invited you. So it's okay. So Dave's frightened. He's shocked and scared now, and all of his down, repelling down and gathering together in a non-threatening way, but in a fearful way, are his companions and his guardians of this land and the temple, and they all look equally scared. And Dave says, "Wives, my wives," and he's talking to all of his wives, and they're all going wives to each other, and wives, because they all are all married to each other, and they're all wives to each other, but they're all in a panic and uproar, and you can't hear a word out of them. They're really scared. They're not soldiers. They don't know what to do. They know of the Hive Armada, though, and they're afraid.
Who's a soldier again? Pin, can you?
Yeah.
I can't hear anything. Can you fire off one shot in the air to get all of their attention?
That's very logical. I don't think that will scare them in any way. I think that will absolutely get their attention. Okay, fine, that's all right. So she shoots up in the air. And she goes,
Okay.
excuse me. Are you you?
I think. Well,
listening?"
hold on a minute. I think the roll's got to be there.
Yeah. No, there does have to be a roll. I'm just listening to hear Pin's.
Yeah, she's going. She's just going. She's doing it in a very sort of casual. Okay, bang. Hi, everybody. Hi. Can you look over here? Yeah.
As Pin does that, I'm
just
gonna
a casual gunshot in the air.
I'm gonna swivel round Pal's body that's on the floor, and I'll pick him up by his ears, and pull open the hatch at the back and use him as a megaphone.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you say through the megaphone hatch while you're rolling for lasers, please, Christine?
Right, you beautiful
Right,
people.
you beautiful people.
Listen up.
Listen
You're all
up.
scared right
We're
now.
all scared right now.
But there isn't
But
anything
there
in this
isn't
world
anything
that you can't do into submission. So we're just going to whip them out.
I'm just going to whip them out.
Do them.
And we're
We're
just
going to do them over and over again until they thank us.
Until they thank us. One moment, please.
And then
And
they'll
then-
be happy we came.
And then they'll be
and
happy we
leave.
came and then we're going to fuck off.
Yeah,
Okay,
Captain,
yeah.
I love
That's-
you.
I think that's 3 dice for Dan, 1 dice for you, Christine, but definitely, and that would be feelings for sure, wouldn't it?
Don't shoot anyone.
Ooh, I got 4, so I did win. It's all right.
You did. Okay, good.
And I got 2 successes.
Oh, lovely.
A 3 and a
Um,
6.
So everybody stops. Couple of people fall over in fright because of the gunshots. A couple of them swoon, which is unusual. Not for you, Captain, but I think definitely sort of under the circumstances. And they're all calm and quiet and waiting for instructions because and Dave goes, "Look, we know how to defend our turf, but we're not soldiers, and we know what the Hive Armada can do. Please, we must make haste back to our temple. We will explain everything there."
You don't need to
That makes
fight them. You
sense.
just need to slow them down.
Oh, sorry. No, calm down.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'll just turn this off because I'm right in your face.
Yeah, that was my
I
megaphone.
think,
voice,
I
by the
assume
way.
he just throws me back on the ground. as
Yeah,
well.
just
I think it's sensible. I think we should go. You got big thick walls, yes, and other vantage points, so I can shoot my big gun at the bad guys, because we need that. Is that good?
And one
Is
of
that what you
the people shouts, "It's not the only thing over there that's thick." And
Oh,
someone
Dave.
else
thanks.
goes,
Don't mind if I
Dave, you need
do.
to
And
talk
I
to this
give a little
guy.
pelvic thrust.
Dave, you need to talk to this guy. He's very rude. Let's talk about you being very stupid. I mean, oof, I don't
You
think
know,
that's good.
do we see you are outsiders, and I apologize, we see relationships differently. We're not family, all of us in blood sense, but we are all we have. We are very close with everybody here, very open and close, and we hide nothing back. That is why some called us stupid when we put our temple so visible. Now maybe we regret it, but
visible.
back then it is. But to bury us, the temple would be to bury ourselves and our cause. We are here to guard this land for the return of the one. That is what we've been told.
Okay. So maybe we continue this conversation behind the big thick walls. Yes? Shall we do that?
That's not the only thing. And then you hear someone slap that person.
I do a pelvic thrust anyway.
There's some people here that may be like coming out of the woodwork. It might be your kind of people, Captain Darcy, you know. But this is like
they're all my kind of people. I just change my mood.
And they but they hear your words well. They're moved by what you say, and they make a beeline down the canyon. They know the fastest route. I think you've lost a little bit of time, but you can probably get there just before the Hive Armada if you hurry.
Sure.
If you don't ask questions, if you just go, I think you can get to the temple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is that what you guys want to do?
Can I keep an eye out? This is going to be lasers, unfortunately, but can I keep an eye out for any Hive Armada scouts? I know about these, the Hive Armada.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a run-in before. And I know that they sometimes send forward scouts that you can't really see. They have cloaking devices, but I know their movement, so I'm looking out where they might have a look to see if they're around.
I think that if you are comfortable with Captain Darcy, maybe when he gets off on his own and he's scouting a little ahead, if he is like Captain Darcy, maybe he sings his own theme tune.
His own theme tune.
If you can sing a bit of his theme tune to me, I can let it be a feelings roll, right? Two feelings rolls, 2 feelings dice.
Darcy, he fucking rocks. Darcy, he lives with his. Oh, and then it like cuts out. Big drum fill. Captain Darcy, he's on his way. Captain Darcy, to save the day. And he's not even subtle about it. It's not like he's like
okay, right.
The front,
he's not doing it just when he's out of earshot. He's doing
it in the middle.
He's off on the way.
Stood on a rock.
Yeah, that's 2 feelings dice for sure.
Thanks.
Captain Darcy scouting the only way he knows how.
By screaming. That's 2 5s. So that is a massive success.
Oh wow. So what you trying to find out then?
I'm trying to see if there's any Hive Armada scouts. They won't have sent the whole army, but they sometimes send some cloaked scouts that move faster to deliver information back to the Queen.
Yeah, so what you do is you actually spot a couple of scouts running backwards. And what they've done is they haven't spotted you, but what the scouts running backwards have done is they know the route directly to the temple.
Yeah.
And what they've done is they wouldn't normally be running back to tell the rest of the troop. What you can do is you can see them run up the line, and what you can do with your double success is you can trail them all the way back to a huge moving swarm of sort of, remember the hive are they're sort of both insectoid and sort of machine, aren't they?
Yeah, nanobot type thing.
Yeah, they're not quite like the people that you're with at the moment who are sort of sweet and insectoid. This swarming almost like what's it called, like a palanquin or something. It's almost like a sort of swarming, moving, mobile tent that within it I think with your double success and with your previous knowledge of the Hive Armada, you would recognize that within there is the Hive Queen. Okay. So they are moving the Hive Queen. This is an important enough venture, this temple, in order to get the Hive Queen.
So I'd quite like, with having seen one of the scouts, to sing my theme tune even louder so that it echoes through the canyon. Okay. That we get pinged by one of them that will tail us.
Okay, yeah. I don't think you have to roll for that. I think with a double success, that's, you know, like, because you get to ask some questions. So
I'm doing it like it's normal, so that the crew doesn't know.
They think,
and that the scout
Captain
doesn't
Darcy,
know. It's just like he's just Darcy being Darcy.
Oobleck's like groupieing at this point. He's like behind you. Captain.
He's like doing the Rage Against the Machine where he doubles up on a lyric every now and again.
He's your hype man.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, and with the double success,
I want the scout person to think that I've fucked up, and I want the crew to think that I've fucked up.
Okay. Okay. So you sort of the one member of the hive sort of they can sort of hover, they fly low, they can't get too much height, but they can move along the ground as sort of like a speeder, and it and it separates from the two scouts. One heads back to the queen, and one is sort of, it relays its information to the rest of the team that it's looking for something.
Okay.
And then it starts to head in your direction.
Crew, huddle up while we're walking.
Hey.
I would like to imagine a huddle and a walk.
Yeah, like that. Listen, hang on one second. Greetings, crewman Newman.
Oh my God! Yeah,
Crewman
crewman.
Newman. He's up on the top.
What's
He's-
crewman Newman's
Hello.
accent?
Hello, crewman Newman. How are you doing?
So there is a delay in the static as the communicators have to match up. And while that's happening, someone refresh me as to what crewman Newman's. Was he the Australian?
Australian.
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 Navigation, wasn't he? Type person. He was.
But
there
he
on the
was left
bridge.
in charge, wasn't he?
He was left
He
up
was.
there, yeah.
He was. G'day. You're coming through the captain's frequency, but you
That's
can't
right.
be the captain because the captain was in a pod.
Incorrect. I'm out the pod now. Aren't you happy about that, Uman?
Can
I'm very-
confirm.
How are you doing anyway? How's life up there?
Listen, I hope you don't mind, but I put the ship into cloak because nobody
That's-
asked me to do it. But I
Look,
did
do
it
you know
anyway.
what? That's all my
Is that
favourite
okay?
because that's literally what I was ringing up to say.
Thank you. It's not extending beyond my boundaries, is it? I'm not
Shock's
I'm not
faces
trying to
all
go for
around.
the
No,
job.
you want to be careful about that because Jackson ended up on the wrong end of a rifle. But you'll be
You don't want me to do all the admin for that, do you, sir?
no admin. Don't worry about that. Who gives a shit about admin? Do you know what I mean? Just gets in the way.
The
Although-
concierge aren't going to like that. But
Now
don't
that
worry,
you
I
put
won't
it-
tell them.
No, they're lovely. They'll let me off. I'll tell you why later. Put us through to engineering, will you?
Yeah, I'll will do, Captain. I just need to remember the
Oh my
accent.
God, what was
Engineering?
engineer?
No problem.
They were the
God.
eggs. They were the eggs
Oh,
who could only
engineering, no
say
problem.
engineering, no problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
Um,
God.
Engineering?
Do you know they've
no
been
problem.
they've been chatting all morning. I don't think they've been doing a bit of work, honestly. Yeah, I'll put you through, Captain. One moment.
You tell
En-
that you've
engineering?
listened to this quite recently.
Yeah,
I just can't remember any of it.
I'm bringing them all back.
Oh,
Engineering? No problem.
No problem.
Problem. Engineering.
Problem?
Engineering. No.
Yeah.
Engineering problem. Problem. No.
Problem.
To translate, now that Uman's put us into cloaking, you're going to need to charge up as hard as you can because some of us might need to make it out of here very quickly.
Okay, so what have you asked engineering to charge up?
Like to get the warp drive ready
Okay.
for an instant hyper jump.
Do we have? I'm just
No
checking.
problem.
Do we have the classic teleportation?
I don't think on this
No,
kind
we
of ship
we
you
flew
do.
down on a shuttle that is
Yeah.
now sunk in the bottom of a ocean lake. But
The Raptor is not a sort of a world-class ship as you guys have defined very early on.
more like Red
so-
Dwarf, isn't it? It's like
Yeah,
the
it was a
Yeah,
junk heap.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think engineering. No problem. Problem. No problem. No problem. And,
engineering, and that's you can tell how filthy that is when he says it.
and that means that they're sending a shuttle down into low orbit. When you signal it, they'll come and collect you and do a sort of fulcrum, collect you and take you up to
Take
the,
back out
to
to
the ship
jump.
as fast as possible.
Put us back to Uman so I can say goodbye. I know how he hates it if no one does.
Engineering.
Also, something canon from the last episode, just so you know.
Yes, it is.
Nice one.
Warmest
Crew
regards,
Uman.
Uman. Look after yourself.
Yeah, crew Malooman here. Yeah, who is this?
That's a fucking captain. Like,
Hello,
careful.
Captain. Yeah.
Yeah. Just saying goodbye. Warmest regards. Might never see you
Ah.
again. Enjoy, Uman. And he logs off.
And a single tear runs down his eye, not because you might die, but
Mhm.
because somebody actually said goodbye to him.
And
So
also,
he's
it could
a
also
single
mean
tear.
that when he gets back, he's going to kill him, and that's
Yeah.
the last time that he said that.
Well, he doesn't. Crew Malooman hasn't got it at all. he's just so. Oh, I knew I liked that captain. What a bloke. And he's back to, and he's sitting in the. What you don't realize is he's sitting in the captain's chair. He's
Yeah,
wearing like the
He's
captain's
definitely
hat.
dead.
He's
definitely
made one.
dead.
He's made
And
one
he's
out
got
of,
his boots on and they don't fit. And
he's
like
made one out of like paper.
ridiculous. Crewman Uman. Oh man.
Right,
I
listen,
liked him
crew.
as well.
Good news and bad news. Good news, and he's saying it
Wait,
just
hold on.
loudly. Yeah.
I'm a doctor. I know how to give bad news. Please
Okay.
go ahead.
So I open up the back of his head and I put my mouth to it, so it's a bit louder than normal. Good news
Good
is
news.
I found the
I
alien
found the
artifact.
alien artifact.
Can you alter it slightly as well, by the way? Can you change it to bedside manner? Flick the bedside manner
Yeah,
switch.
bedside manner suit.
Okay.
Good news. I found the
I have
alien
some
artifact.
wonderful news for you.
Right.
We have managed to locate the object that you've been looking for.
That's amazing.
Yeah, bad
That's really
news
good
or
news.
good news. It was good news for me. I merged with it.
Well, when a mommy artifact and a daddy artifact love each other very much, they spend some time together. This is what has happened with the artifact.
Basically,
And
Which
Captain
I'm
Darcy.
now
wait.
the
Which one are
artifact.
you, Captain? Which one are you? You're the mummy artifact or the daddy artifact? I don't understand.
in this particular case, it felt like I was a bit of both. You know what I'm saying? But
No.
One
I
moment,
think
please.
everything's okay. I haven't noticed any difference.
Well, I've
Uh,
noticed one thing that is different with you, Captain.
What's
You
that?
actually bothered to say goodbye to crewman Uman.
I always say goodbye to crewman Uman.
No, you don't.
It's my
And
favourite.
I'm gonna
apart
like,
from you three.
I'm gonna like bring up,
all
like
the times that I've
like
just
the
signed
cat
off.
thingy
And
logs.
then
And it's
every
just,
time he said goodbye to someone, it's like subsequently followed with their death at an unspecified time afterwards, right?
Yeah.
So it's
By
like
the
the kiss
way,
of death.
The thing I love about this is, if you remember previously, we have a complete paper trail and no digital storage.
Yeah.
So he's
Oh, yeah,
printing
sorry, yeah,
off
so I was
paper
just-
on his arm.
yeah. I'm
It's like
just,
a
I'm just like
ticker.
Dot matrix.
Yeah, like a ticker. Yeah, like a ticker.
Like in Loki, he prints out another. He just said that.
Yes. So
Don't know what to do with that information, but feels like I should probably tell you.
So
I think that maybe you should get behind a thick wall right away. So and then we can maybe talk about it a little bit more.
Sure.
Maybe not the actual merging. I think we all.
I mean, I think
we
Oobleck probably
got
wants to
that.
hear the whole details, don't you, mate?
Sure,
maybe
I
another
think
day.
I do.
as 100% feelings, of course you want to do, mate. And as
yeah,
halfway in
but-
between, I'd like to know why someone would fall in
I'd
love
like to
with
think that Oobleck is like always listening to
Can
the
you,
details and is like a groupie, but is never actually involved.
How much room have you got, Dan? Could you do
doesn't
an
want to know the
could
truth
you-
about Captain Darcy, just the idealization, the image he has of Captain
He's
Darcy.
his
Yeah.
star.
Could you
Yeah.
do an interpretive dance? Like, have you got enough room behind you or not really?
People on the podcast are going to love this.
Yeah. Well,
We'll
I can
describe
do,
it.
I can do. Thing is, like, because we're walking in a huddle, I can only do an upwards interpretive dance. Do you know
Go on
what I mean?
then,
Just
that
an
sounds
upper
good,
level.
yeah.
So it went a bit like this.
The podcast is he's looking blankly at the camera
Raver,
and
it's sort of like
wiggling his hands
raving.
like he's trying to grab a paper, and
Oh.
then he's punching, he's smashing both his
Smashing.
hands together,
Oh,
and then he's
oh,
Hulk smashing,
oh,
and then he's
oh.
crying up in the air, and then he's
Oh.
falling up
Very
and down, and
expressive.
then oh my
Yeah.
god, and then
Praise
he's doing a
the
full
Lord.
deadlift, and now he's doing, now he's got mandibles, and now he looks like a dragon, and he passed out.
Passed out. Yeah. It's just
Something
often
like that, I think.
what happens afterwards, isn't it?
That was expressive. Very expressive. Expressive
tried my
dance.
best.
Well done.
Yeah, that's probably about as close as it's ever going to get. Better than words.
So what
Nice
do we
idea.
do now? Do we have to keep you away from the Hive Armada, or keep the
Well,
Hive
it-
Armada away from you?
And like trying again to be as subtle as Darcy can be. Well, I guess we can't let them get hold of me because that might mean they can achieve what they wanted to achieve. And he looks up at the top of the canyon.
Directly at the camera. Yeah. Just relaying the plot for everyone at home
Yeah.
who's forgot what happened in the last episode. Yeah. Yes, so it will reverse time is what it's insinuated will happen.
But then, hold on one moment. If we deliver you to the Hive Armada and then it reverses time, then we can reverse time back to the place where this didn't happen. Therefore, Captain Darcy would not have actually interfaced with the Hive Armada, and therefore, that's the profanity filter on. The would not have interfaced. Therefore,
actually, by giving the Hive Armada what they want, we can actually reverse this so it doesn't happen at all in this timeline.
Yeah, see, I
And
haven't
then-
got those
and
time
then-
powers.
And then pound 9,000 passes out.
Yeah.
Oobleck's like severely slowing down now because he's trying to understand what the hell he's talking
I
about.
think there
He's
is
just like,
there's a bit of a. I think we hit the paradox loop. That might be what just happened there. but
I
we
I
are
think
still
that's
walking
something.
to the temple, aren't
Yeah,
we?
we're still walking. We're
We're
still
walking.
walking.
We're still in the huddle.
Marvelous, That's okay.
Yeah, just like that.
Crap huddle. Okay, as long as that's still happening. Have we reached it yet? This
Yes.
is Tomato.
So as this conversation goes on, and you're still debating the ins and outs of timey-wimey paradoxes and whatnot, and what do the Hive Armada want? How did the captain interface with the alien artifact in the first place? I can only imagine one way. It's not very comfortable idea. What did the alien artifact even look like before it was interfaced with the captain?
It was a thought and a feeling more than it was an actual object. I entered. You want to know? I entered this temple. When me and Oobleck were investigating, I saw a tiny little crack, so I had to push myself inside it. And when I got through there, I felt something, and I reached out, pelvis first, and I just felt overwhelmed,
Why
I
does the
felt-
captain go pelvis first? Captain Darcy's so ridiculous.
Isn't it feelings?
It's feeling.
Yes, yeah, it is, isn't it? It is.
Not brain first. He thinks with their brain anyway, Oobleck, eh? Or Pin does. That's why she's on point.
Try sometimes.
Don't,
Oobleck
don't,
only
it
thinks with
hurts.
feelings because he's just stupid.
And Dave, by this point, Dave's got you. You've just entered the entrance, and there's like almost like a sort of, let's say, a lobby, a grand lobby. And like when you go to a posh hotel and you have to stay there for like an hour for some reason while they get all your shit sorted out.
Can I
So
say
you're
that
sort of sitting there.
we've been
Go on.
going along in the crab in the huddle.
Yeah.
And then Peter's been going, we really need to get to the temple. And then just as she's saying it, the door slammed. Oh, over here.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's
And
great.
seats have the sort of attendants have all pushed seats behind you, so you can all just sit back from the huddle into
That's
seats.
really good. Someone mentioned tea, maybe a drink. Maybe
All right, we're not. Phaser's not here
No,
now.
is that
All
not
right.
Anyone got a rum?
Rum would be good.
Bradley needs another glass of water though because of this.
Well, I tell you what. Now's a good time to take a quick break. Just sort of a quick 5-10 minute break. We'll take.
Yeah,
How about that?
sounds
And
great.
then we'll sort of get our refreshments and jump back in. So we've just got to the point where the temple doors have
Doors
closed.
slam.
Drinks have been handed to you, and Dave has sat down. Dave and Sade have sat down to listen to the rest of Captain Darcy's story about the alien artifact.
Cool. See you in a bit.
to the final part of the final episode of Blood and Song Does Lasers and
Sorry,
Feelings.
so sorry. Again, in the 50s and radio announcer voice.
Okay. I need some backing music. Somebody give me some. Yeah, that's good. Welcome back, heroes, to the next part, the last part of the last episode of Blood and Song Does Lasers and Feelings. So we are at the position where, just in the temple entrance, Captain Darcy was wrapping up his story about the alien artifact. We've had a little while ago in the comments, we were so absorbed in the game. We had Taj comment on someone drinking WD-40, and we weren't quite sure, what was it, Brad? Whether it was for
whether
for
it was
for the robot
or for my
or for your throat.
for my alcohol voice. Yeah.
So we've decided it's both. It's good advice for either player. What else did Taj say? He was commenting on.
Well,
he
nailed on dead the inspiration for Captain Darcy.
Inspiration for Captain Darcy before I'd even done it.
Did he? It's because he knows you. He was like, yeah, this is what it's going to be like.
It's
The
definitely
flash
Flash
heart sort of thing. Yeah, love it. I love, and we were just saying in the break, like we love how this is taken, because it was quite a sort of industrial sci-fi thing, for the first episode. And as soon as you land on a dusty alien planet and you bring a Shatner style character in, it becomes something completely proper, as Christine was saying, proper 60s, 70s sci-fi, doesn't it? Like, yeah. As it's all sort of free love sci-fi, isn't it? But there is a reason. There's a reason why there is this fertility angle. You're inside a temple shaped like various alien genitalia, and you have these sort of, they're not quite monks, there's more like stewards. They haven't given you too many answers, but right now they're just intently listening. They want to know the story of the alien artifact, and you can see that they're all sitting down almost like a congregation, because they all need to hear about this alien artifact.
And it spoke to me, Well, not really spoke to me. I just felt it. Right in here. I don't often feel things in here, So it felt real. And anyway, I think I must have passed out. And then the next thing I knew, I was in a pod.
Yes, I had to carry you back to the ship. It was a very long journey. Oh.
And I had
Sorry.
to
You
push,
were honoured, weren't you? Honoured.
My weight's all in my hips.
and I had
Yes,
to
I could tell.
and I had to do the one thing, which was push a button. It was very tedious.
What you would
I
have
can't
liked to
quite
have done
tell
more.
whether you've enacted your sarcasm module or not.
No, it is because
Oh, can't you?
no, it is because
I
when-
shouldn't be playing your characters, please. Sorry.
it is when you go in. I just have to push the heal gel button.
That's because you set it up in the first place. Very clever of you.
Sure. And he quickly
Speaking of which, where do you make that gel from?
puts the manual away. The gel is made specially.
Don't you make it? How do you... I don't want to know.
Well,
Well,
Well-
Captain, I am sure you are, going to be okay from interacting
cannot
in this way.
confirm.
with this artifact.
I've had heavier nights, I'm not going to lie, Pin.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that's good. That stands you in good stead.
Hmm.
But what was the artifact? Like,
Like I said, it was more of a feeling than it was an actual thing. I was in this cave. To be honest, if I remember right, there's writing on the walls. I don't really read. Who needs to read, right?
Yes, I could not
okay,
read it
yeah, no,
either. It was a
not
great
me.
mystery, but you collapsed and I could not discover it.
Al puts his book away.
It was very frustrating.
okay. So maybe where this artifact is from, maybe these guys know something. Maybe we can ask them.
So as that happens, the high priestess of the temple alights down the stairs. Description, accent, name, please. Who hasn't given me one of any of these things? I don't want it to. I'm sure you guys are spreading the load, but
Just like
I think the
Halloween.
high
I just don't want the good
priestess.
school
And
kids to.
her
I think the
name's
high
I think
priestess
her
Frisca.
should
name
have
would be
4 names. We should all have one.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Frisca.
Susan.
Lilala.
Chapovich.
What did you say, Ryan?
Chapovich.
Oh, okay.
And her accent is.
What one haven't you done yet? No, I know that I sort of know you can do.
One that he can't do and might potentially be horribly racist.
I don't feel like we
South
should be as
African.
cool as Clicks again. But,
Can you? We've got like. Can you?
can you do
Do-
baritone? Can you do it really basic? Can
Give
we
me an
do that?
example of what would a baritone be
I
like?
think her name would be Susan.
I could try. You could tell me if I
Okay.
was if I was onto it or not.
Ours has suggested Armenian, and I
Ooh.
would like a baritone Armenian, please.
I, listen, I'm gonna really. He knows that's because we've got Armenian blood in us, and I genuinely cannot. I don't know what the Armenian accent is enough in my brain.
That's the beauty of it, right? So it's not actual Armenian.
it's gonna be
it's what you
Borat.
imagine.
If you
Well,
end up doing any from any region like that, and you don't actually know what the
it's-
accent is, it's going
Yeah,
Borat, isn't
I
it?
can't even picture a Turkish accent. Never mind an Armenian accent.
Oh man, it's the Taj. It's going to be
What
so.
about-
So it's
what
going to be a
about-
baritone,
No,
nondescript
no, wait, no,
foreign.
no. You
accent.
played Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Give us like whatever the rubbish Greek.
Mystios.
Yeah, but the female.
and they
I'll
don't say
try.
C.
It's
they-
going to be awful,
Si,
but I'll
si.
try. Okay. All right. Ancient Greek. That way we can't upset any of our
Yeah.
Greek viewers.
Baritone.
Baritone.
Lower.
Which you'll have to confirm if I've got. I'm not the musos like you guys. I don't know if I'm hitting the baritone or not. And can you describe to me? I imagine we've got a Padme situation going on here. So this is the High Priestess. She's beautiful in her sort of soft insect-like way, but she has an outfit on that is, obviously ludicrous.
Outrage.
I think she's going to be really tall.
ludicrously- Yeah, I was going to say really tall and got lots
Yeah, and
of
spindly like a what's it
like a
called?
stick insect.
Yeah, like a
Praying
stick
mantis.
insect, but a little bit like a praying mantis.
But
yeah.
the thing is like it goes up like a peacock span, but it goes up even taller than her, so it has to go really tall before, like optic fiber cable. You know those things.
Oh,
Like,
I understand why you built your tower so tall and so thick. It's because it's for her headdress.
Okay, yes. So the High Priestess alights down these stairs. Do you know what's really odd? I'm sort of obviously trying to improvise some of the dialogue. It's really hard to try and improvise it and improvise an accent at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, this is a unique challenge.
No one doubts it. But we're all in,
We're in for the enjoyment.
We're still here.
Okay, so
Going.
she goes,
Come on, I'm ready.
Oi.
That's it.
That's it. I could hear it. I could hear the continuation.
Oi, and the wait, okay. I am the High Priestess Friska Sosanlilaya Japovich. A little bit Russian there, but that's okay.
Last name.
She says, I have heard of this alien artifact of which you speak. This is why my temple was built, to find the coming of the alien artifact. Well, here we just call
Think
it an
I-
artifact.
I think I did that already.
Oh, yeah,
Sean, is your
he-
mic on?
It
Yeah.
came.
Why?
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to do a
I
baritone.
couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. Sorry.
That's
you had it low.
because this is my unusual baritone accent.
Well, good news. He came, and there he is. So it's good.
And
You see him?
Dave, like, he genuflects. He doesn't bow. This isn't like sort of overly religious, but he shows his deference to you, and then everybody follows. Like, they
Because they're,
cannot believe
because
that
they're
the artifact is here.
insectoids, like their knees bend the opposite way, so they bow
Yeah,
backwards.
so it looks really weird. Yeah, so they all bow backwards, and it's all completely odd. And the High Priestess gives a slight bow, which, because her headdress is so long, basically means the whole
Huge.
headdress goes down. and they allow the high priestess to talk because weirdly, a baritone ancient Greek accent is easier than trying to click and speak at the same time. So the priestess says, "We are not worthy, ancient one. But what are you doing here? You are not prophesied to have been here for many hundreds of thousands of your years."
Well, I can maybe answer that question. Every one of our years up in the space is like 100,000 down here.
Can you roll a lasers for that, please?
I've heard about this. It's Einstein's theory of space-time. I know this one.
I got a 3, but before that, I would love to hear. Sorry, it's a crit. I would love to hear what Ublek's version of the space time is.
Yeah.
Not Bradley's version of it.
What does Ublek know from the book he skimmed in the library once as he walked past?
Oh well.
No, he heard the audiobook.
Yeah.
Listen
listen
to
to a
podcast about it.
Ublek's version of it is, well, the further you are from a planet, time flows slower. It's simple, right? It's completely the opposite. Well, and wrong.
The further you are from someone else and in their bed, the longer time feels. That's how I feel anyway.
Something like that. Yes. The real one is when you move faster, time slower.
Somebody, as this conversation is going on,
my question.
Oh, go on.
How do we extract the feeling from Captain Darcy?
There's something else, you mean?
Yeah,
There's something else.
How do you extract it from Captain Darcy? First of all, you sort of have to get confirmation that it is the something else, and you have to understand what the something else is, right?
Okay.
That's what I would say. I mean, extracting it is possible. I mean, that's like saying
It feels internally that I have to consensually give it now that it's inside me.
Well, that rules out what my plan was going to be.
Or it could be torn from me as well.
My queen, the high priestess, there is a thing that has happened on Earth that maybe you could be a part of with Captain Darcy. You see, when one is embarrassed, they seem to lose some of the feeling inside of them, and the best way to do this is with a diss rap battle.
young artificial one. Oh wait, no, I haven't got the Greek accent. Young artificial one. It would be one of my envoys I would send forward to rap battle in my place, but possibly if this would draw the spirit out of your captain, then I will have to acquiesce. And then as that happens, a sort of, somebody who's clearly been on watch comes bursting in with gear on and everything, and they're holding in their hands trying to flee and buzzing and making lots of noise. You see close up a scout of the Hive. You met the Hive Armada on your ship, didn't you? Or you saw them through the viewfinder.
Yeah.
So this is like quite a frightening appearance, but it looks like a sort of mechanoid wasp type figure with a face, and it's desperately trying to get away, but it's small, compact, and it's not going to get away from this scout.
So it's sort of like going like, it's sort of like the buzzing that's not going to get away sort of makes like a beat that you could do rap battle to.
I see what you're doing. Pen, we might be in trouble. We might need to set up the defenses quick before they get us an attack. Whatever happens, and he looks straight into the scout's eyes as he does it. Whatever happens, and straight down the camera, they can't get hold of me.
Okay, so Dave, excuse me, Dave. What defenses do you have other than the big thick walls? Is there like
Did you say big? Did you say big dick walls or big thick?
no,
That's-
big thick walls? You
this
don't
is-
do that with the accent. Don't do that. It's
Sorry,
it's,
my universal
I feel like I've
translator is
been
still
quite
broken.
consistent in this episode, unlike other ones. So
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
that's what I did. Be very good if we knew what that was. So, what do you think?
We have ballista on the walls,
That's good,
large
that's good.
devices. One person can tackle it, but they will take so long time to reload. It's mostly for flying ships. Large metal pins fly out. They'll take a little while to set up, though.
Don't say that. She might be offended. You said her name slightly wrong.
No, you got it right. It was great. It was really, really good.
Oh,
actually.
okay.
By
So I
coincidence,
get
you got your
this.
name exactly
So we can
right, yeah.
we can load Pin into one of these ballista and fire her at the Armada.
I mean, that's one
Um,
option, but Pin could also fire 2 ballista on her own. She's so good.
And I
mean,
could
I
be
could
the
give it a
ammunition
go.
in one of those ballista. This is genius plan.
I mean, I could
8999.
put Oleg into the ballista, and I could fire him. Would that work? He likes to charge.
You
You
could
know,
eat
maybe
them from
that'd
the
be fun.
inside. I love it.
Maybe. What
I can see you,
Dave.
Dan. I know that you said that, Dan. And you can never.
I didn't hear what did Dan say?
I ignored it.
It's gone now.
Okay. Dave, you can see is rubbing his wound where you shot him earlier when the lucky charge from Ublek saved his life. Otherwise, things would have gone much worse.
Can
if
I go
you'd shot
use?
him.
Can I go use the science auto stitching tool that just works? You know, just like you just graft, just a skin grafting tool.
I'm surprised
which,
that you guys have that on your ship, but you're quite an advanced doctor for this. They're
to be
almost
fair,
like
to be fair, and
It does
here's
say
the-
that the communicator tool's like this, like Omni tool, doesn't it?
yeah, I rolled a 2.
not quite, but it says a space phone camera communicator scanner with a translator, so it doesn't say anything about
Okay, it's
medical.
not
I feel
quite a
like so. Here's
multi-tool.
the dark secret of the thing that fuels the the restitcher. It's all of the people that Darcy's killed. I just sort of recycle.
The molecular, you're sort of
Yeah.
recycling their molecular sort of
Oh,
breakdown.
so Johnson's not there anymore.
Jackson.
yeah,
Jackson's
Jackson.
No, like
sorry.
because Jackson died on planet, he's alright. But all the ones that get shot up in the ship, they sort of I'm like, oh, I will take care of the body, and I just sort of like boil
Fuck
them
him up.
down,
Yeah,
just boil
That's
them
where,
down.
that's
Feel
where
like
the
you
green
are.
goo comes from.
Yeah, basically. yeah.
As a
Yeah.
sort of android doctor, you're also almost like too good for this kind of ship. So I like the idea that maybe your line is supposed to be recalled or something because you're dangerous, and that's how they've got you at a discount. That's how this ramshackled ship has got their android
You know,
doctor. Who's
like
got some
yeah,
quite decent
you
tools.
like
you
it.
know?
Yeah, and I've also got faulty faulty couplings between my legs and my body.
yeah, clearly, yeah.
Um,
yeah.
The other question is that we might need to want to find out is why do the Hive Armada want to go back in time? So maybe we can find that out at some point.
I think I can probably
Maybe
answer
we
that
can
question.
ask the scout. Oh, okay.
I
The
think
high priestess defers to. She bows again, and the top of her hat touches Darcy's head, as if to
So you-
say, "Continue."
you heard that we had an encounter before.
Yes.
Yeah. See, the Hive Queen wasn't always the way she was. She was once a very different kind of alien breed. Beautiful. Probably one of my most stunning ex-girlfriends. And there's been a lot.
Stunning. Is that a B? Wasp
See what-
reference?
see what I
Yeah,
did
that's,
there.
that's good. That was good.
Anyway, she wasn't this Hive. She was just a single being. Anyway, we decided we'd take a night out, to fly to a new planet, see what we could do, al fresco style. Anyway, we found this lovely sort of big, beautiful building. Must have been there for years, ancient years. Anyway, so we climbed to the top of the ziggurat and we did it. We did it loads of times. And actually, she likes it a little bit. Anyway, it ended up with her tied to the top of the ziggurat. We're having a great time. And then lightning just struck the thing. Anyway, I ran. I ran. I wasn't having any of this. And all I heard was her screaming. And the next day, the ziggurat wasn't there, and neither was she.
Well, at least you came
Okay.
back for her.
Do
I think
you?
I've got a bit of apologising to do, you know?
And the high priestess goes, "This is what we were taught in our books, but this was not supposed to happen for a lot, as I said, thousands and thousands of years." Am I baritone enough, by the way?
No.
Baritone, baritone, baritone. I'm trying to get down to baritone level.
Like Barry White,
keep
man.
going.
Never mind.
My name's Barry White. Just down there.
No, he's not demon. Jesus Christ.
In a world.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, so she basically said, but she implies that this has happened at the wrong time for them. They're not prepared. This is what they've been preparing for, but you're too early. This is irregular. The alien artifact perhaps was supposed to have bonded maybe to someone else,
It is
or maybe at a
okay.
different time, or
Listen,
maybe.
there's
is
been a lot of
okay.
people that have bonded with me when they should have been with someone else. It's kind of a trick 'em up.
It is okay. If there's one thing I know about Captain Darcy is that he always comes prepared with protection.
Ah, about that. So, those other things, there's a potential that they could be my babies.
Oh, I meant your phaser.
Oh, fucking hell, that is a revelation. And the Sade goes,
I thought as much. Come with me.
and she leads you to a ship. She leads a small room off the side with a little ship, and she goes,
There's room for two in the ship. We fitted it with non-lethal devices.
and what you can see is you can see that the it's almost like it's like a radar dish with a ship attached to it. And she explains that it's got a sort of disrupting. I suppose it can. It's almost it's like almost pheromonal, right? So you know how sort of bees communicate with pheromones. It can go up and it can disrupt the allegiance of the Hive Armada, perhaps temporarily, perhaps permanently. It depends what information is fed to them and how, right? So you're sort of almost like in an oral way, AURAL sort of way, you are going to feed them information as if you're mixing chemicals. And when you find that pheromone of what gets through to them, you may be able to communicate with the Armada. And this is the ship that they've been building, but it's not finished yet. It's very nearly finished because they weren't expecting.
Just before we sort of enter, Oobleck's going to pull Pin aside. It's like, Pin.
Oh, Jesus, will you stop talking about my mother in this way, honestly? Like, what have I ever done to you, eh?
I'm trying. Anyway, don't tell the captain. We killed literally thousands of his children.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's, maybe. But I don't think he's emotionally attached. So we might be all right.
Maybe. He seems a little bit different.
Okay.
At the moment.
Okay. Let's see if let's hope he didn't overhear, and let's see what goes on. Yeah. Right. Anyway, hello. So, how much work needs to be done to this? This is to Dave. How much work needs to be done to this ship to make it work again, to make it all proper and fixed?
Dave, he goes, I feel like I'm calling a horse. You need,
Well, I mean, because it might only be a bit, because I know when I've got the project doing, and I know I've got a little while, I do kind of leave it a little bit till, it might only need a couple of days, and, I
Oh,
leave it
that's why
until,
the
like,
paperwork is so lackluster in the ship.
Well, look, okay, if they say it's due in 60 days, I'm not gonna do it like before day 59. It's just true. It's what
Do it on
happens.
January the 31st.
January 31st. It's submitted at 23:55, maybe, just in case there's a delay.
So
You know,
Dave says,
testing it.
well, engineers, they are, how do you say, sick,
Lazy?
taken sick day, but they're nearly finished. It is nearly finished. Maybe somebody can assess
gonna
it and find
jump
out what
on
needs to be
the-
done.
Okay, well, I'll have a
Um,
look. He's basically a big weapon, sort of. So let me have a look, because I know big guns, because they shoot bad people. So, you know, there's logic
I'm
here. So
gonna
Okay,
jump
yeah,
on
that's a
the.
lasers roll. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Two. You can have two for that because it's, you know, you're right. You are a soldier and you would know weapons. That's
I'm
good.
gonna jump on the trans and then gonna call the ship.
Good night. Captain here.
I heard that, you mother. Wait till I get up there.
Captain, it's me here, as what I was just saying.
Hello, could you put me through to engineering?
Engineering,
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 engineering, problem,
engineering,
engineering, problem,
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 problem.
problem. Obviously, because he's got no tone, so he's just saying, he's just saying it.
No.
And then I'm
No,
gonna send,
no.
and then I'm
no.
gonna send in I'm gonna send engineering I'm gonna change it to video dial and show them the.
You have to
It's
flip
the
camera
camera
for a
and
moment.
the
It
Yes,
just,
I
like,
just
shows
checked-
your,
I just
shows
checked
your
my
face
notes,
for like
you're
a
right.
brief minute.
there's a camera and a phone.
But it's one of those really old ones, you know,
Really
a little
old one.
square
And
one.
it's got
almost
some
dot
stupid
matrix,
effect on it that makes it look like he's in a jungle around it.
Yeah, of course he does.
Engineering, and so I'm gonna see if I can get assistance from engineering on that. See if I can help.
So what are you trying to get? It's just
I guess to try and fix up the ship that's like quite short but got like a big dome. And I think I'm gonna fix up the CHO'd ship.
There's not. It's not licensed to just. I know we're inside a temple that looks like a massive penis. There's not
Yeah,
licensed to just
You're
get
the one
all
that
of our.
described it as a mushroom.
I thought it was
It's
massive
basically
penis
as a mushroom.
and a massive vagina. I
Yes,
thought it
it's
was
yes,
both.
yes,
No,
it
no,
is.
it's-
Yes,
it's-
it
it's
tentatively
inside
front
the
of
crevasse.
through the
Simon.
crevasse.
I thought it was
Through
decided
the crevasse.
inside the crevasse.
It's whatever will stop us from being cancelled. It's that.
It's too late. It's too late.
It's too late.
It's inside of the crevasse, or it's neither. So
Yes.
there you go.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, earlier
it's
on, I was
both
trying to do
or
a bit
neither.
where all of the aliens were female, which is why I specified that there was a female alien, and then a character was named Dave, and then I was like, well, now I don't know what to do.
Dave
now all
is
these-
not necessarily gendered.
I
it's a
know it
perfectly
wasn't
good woman's
gendered.
name.
I shouldn't have even mentioned that. But yeah, so this is just the thing of lasers and feelings.
So is
how far away it could run from you.
engineering going to help us build this?
Yeah, well, did you roll twice?
No. Oh,
I
Christine?
rolled twice to check it out. One was a failure and one was a success.
Okay.
I got a failure and a crit success.
Okay.
Um,
Well, can you? I mean, I think that's okay. I
My
think
question-
you can
my question
both
with the-
decide what part you fix, and by the time you're finished, if you can describe it to
My
me, it's completed
question-
and okay. Unlike
question-
Brad's ship that was dodgy, this one,
Yeah.
if you can describe to me what you fixed, it will
Alright.
succeed.
My question is can we fire the ship from the ballista with Captain Darcy in it into the Hive Queen Armada, into the Hive Queen's section?
Bear in mind,
That's-
we've
well,
like
yes is
got
the answer, I
a
suppose you can.
massive.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, great.
We've blown a
But-
massive hole in it, haven't we? Already.
No, because we're not going into the ship because you say that they're on the ground, aren't they? They're in, like you said, a big moving tent with
It's
the
like a
queen in it.
palanquin, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what you
Okay.
could do is you could fire it in a sort
What I-
of
what-
a low arc, and it can, as Captain Darcy's in the ship, I suppose he could sort of draw in he could diffuse the
Yeah, this is
as
what
he goes
this
over.
is.
I'm just assuming if that's what you're trying to do.
All right, listen. What I want to do is I want to And Pin, you might want to help me out with this. I want to paddle the inside out so it's really comfortable, like loads of like nice padding. Room for 2, they said, right? In the ship. And then I want to fire it door open. So as it gets to the hive, it will disrupt all of them but the queen, and then they can smash together, and then the doors will close. They can sort out their differences.
So the high priestess has
Do you get? Does that make any sense?
Uh,
Oh no, wait, we don't
if
want to
you
deliver to Darcy, do we?
No.
Don't-
But if,
While they're doing this, Oobleck, it's room for 2. You know
Yes.
how to head towards a target.
so,
Yeah,
And I
Um,
grab
my ship
Oobleck,
very
and we
well.
both get in the ship straight
Oh,
away.
okay, fine.
so if Pal is sorting out the propulsion with the ballista, and Oleg is gonna steer it, I think I'll sort out the disruption thing that stops the pheromones, so that they can swipe her without hopefully having any retaliation. Because if she can't communicate with pheromones, then hopefully that would be
Yeah.
the way to do it.
I think that's a good idea. And I think that it's completely successful, and you don't quite know what will work or what you want out of this sort of disruption, but you know that it will work. I think you don't know if it will. You don't know if what influence you'll have over it and how you get it, but you know you will be able to
Okay,
disrupt the horde.
So they could either get angry and like attack each other, or get horny and go for each other. As
I'm
that's
Guess
glad
which
you
one
said
it's
it,
gonna
Kristen.
be.
Either way, they
Yes.
will
Flip
be
of a
distracted
coin.
from the
Something will
queen,
happen.
and they
Um,
won't notice what's happening with the queen, because they'll
yeah.
be like, "Oh, what's going on?"
And
Right.
both Dave and Sade, they both remind you that that the propulsion system is weak, but it can take you on a return journey if necessary. So if you fired the ship out, you could do something you needed to do and come back if you needed to get anyone
Oh.
back to the temple or to a meeting point or something.
While they're
Ah.
doing this, I'm just going to press the secret button on the side of my communicator that it pushes out the cyanide injection things on the captain's seat. So if anyone will happen to be sitting on it, they're now injected with cyanide and dead.
So
Now we have
um,
no communicator
Can
to
you
get back
roll
to
in
the
a
ship.
feelings for me?
That's a
Dan?
That's definitely a feelings,
That's a
right?
definitely
Two
feelings.
feeling
Not
dice
logical.
because that
Two
was well
feeling
prepared.
dice. That is a 3 and a 4, so it's an entire success.
Great. So because it's a success, he dies extremely painfully.
And I will, and as he's doing so, I'll communicate best wishes, and then hang up.
Goodbye, Captain. Oh, it's not as easy as it looks, is it, Brad? Oh, you're muted, Brad.
Muted.
Probably for your betterment.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, Captain, did you say something?
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
And everyone will know that he dies a little bit like any character that dies from the gas from the movie The Rock.
Yeah,
Michael
got a
Bay's
little bit of-
1999 movie.
a
The
little
Rock,
bit of
yeah.
sort of foam coming out of his
Basically
mouth and
chokes
stuff.
on his own
Yeah.
sort of lung fluid. So,
Uh,
and what happens to him? Is he just dead in the chair? He just dies
Oh no,
in
he's
the chair.
no.
like
He
that?
then tips up and pushes, lets him.
Yeah, then
roll
there's
on the
like a
floor.
Wallace
so
and
he tells-
Gromit scene where it gets made into the green goo.
made into the goo.
Yeah.
No, it's like
I like
Sweetie
the idea
Toddy
that he
gets
just-
turned into the pies.
Yeah. I sort of like the idea that he just flops into a room that goes. It says like, what's your character's name? Pal's things, and it's just a big box full of corpses. Yeah, to be turned into goo. Yeah. Okay. Well, he's fully dead.
Good.
And he has no
Is there
living
anybody
relatives.
alive on the ship
so-
apart from
Yeah,
engineering?
the
There's loads of
concierge-
like little people that just come up.
concierge.
It's all the
Peons,
red
aren't there?
shirts. Tons of
Loads of
red
peons.
shirts.
There's,
Tons of
there's,
them.
there's the concierge,
Well, I kind of
and then there's engineering as well. Not engineering,
and-
sorry. There's
and-
the
There's a
Oh,
bunch-
and that
someone will
guy's,
say
and
there's
that
a
guy's
space-
wife and
space
kids
space
as
bay
well.
guys, aren't they?
Someone
I turn-
takes his place, but they won't take his place on the captain's chair. They have to get
Yeah.
cocky eventually over time. So they'll
They
take the
turn to-
place of what he was supposed
I
to.
turn to Oobleck and go, "Thank God none of you three tried to be captain in my absence."
Of
Yes,
course
yes,
not, Captain.
yes,
You're the
thank you.
captain.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, so shall we shoot you up at the big thing in the sky? This is or where the planking is.
Hey, look.
Come on.
Aim me at the hole and I've got it.
Okay.
I'm gonna set the ballista up like the pod just one button push.
And at this point, the scout escapes from the clutches of their guard. And there's a scramble, but it's fast. It's its namesake, and it fires
Can I
away.
get out my Jackson's gun and try and shoot it? 'Cause,
Yeah, you can give it a go.
You don't want anyone knowing what our plan is. So it's like, it's a bad guy. I'm gonna shoot the bad guy. 1, hooray! That's a success.
Fucking hell. Okay.
I'm doing all the rolls today.
Yeah, you are.
Does.
So what's the gun like? Can you remind me what it's like in your hands? Does it change slightly? Does it feel like it's more your kind of thing, or does it feel like you've just been given it by somebody else? Do you know what I mean? Are you borrowing it, or
pretty
does
familiar
you
with
comfortable
a
with
lot
it?
of weaponry, so I think it should be all right.
It's like putting on an old glove. What does it look like when you fire at this thing?
I think a bit like clay pigeon shooting. Like, so it's like, oh great, far.
All right. Well, the
Alright.
thing absolutely is completely decimated.
10 points for me. Great.
But what you do is you see a sort of the
Do you know what? This is
face
gonna be really
plates, their
weird.
part on the head scatter, and there's a little flashing light.
In my head, and I
Buzz
don't
out.
know why, but the gun looks like a Lewis gun, which is one of those ones that has like the dome on the top of it that the bullets are fed from. I just don't know why that's what it looks like.
Like an alien, like a space version of that.
Yeah, huge belt cut
That's
on the
because
top.
that's the Lewis gun is the sort of similar gun they use in Clone Troopers and stuff.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, in episode
Oh,
2.
that'd be why then.
So you
looks a
fully
bit like them.
succeeded on killing this thing, but as a scout, as a hive mind, it can feed some information. So it's almost like defragging a hard drive. So like some of the stuff
What?
is, you know,
Don't say that to me.
so some of the stuff is like corrupted, but some of it's gone through, you know, so like some of it has been pushed out, but you have stopped this thing from getting back and relaying everything it's seen. So there are some people in the team getting the ballista ready because I suppose they're on the order of the high priestess, they're retrofitting it to be able to fit a module. They're getting their gates ready and barricaded, but they know they're not ready. They know it's not going to hold. So they ask, the high priestess asks, I need one of you to stay with us and protect us from the front. We need
Listen, there's
somebody-
only 2 of us in here. Pin, keep him alive. Pal, keep him alive.
I can do that. I can do.
Okay.
and
So-
that's good. So get yourself ready for a frontal assault from the first wave, I suppose, that would reach you before the ballista's ready to go. And true enough, as you know, the ballista's being sort of gotten ready, you sort of peer over the wall, don't you? One of those sweeping shots that goes up, and there's the Hive Armada assembling into a sort of, or someone says something beforehand, don't they? They
And
say
at risk
like,
of a risk of getting done for copyright before Captain Darcy leans out the bottom of the ship. Smoke me a kipper. I'll be back for breakfast. And slams them.
Okay, and I think there might be a little bit of right. Okay, I'm gonna collect all my weapons. Fetch a lavash. Come on. It's a Monty Python reference. For anyone who doesn't. And then right. Okay, got everything. Great, we're ready to go.
and I think you've got your weapon. It's your weapon. But what Sade in particular, she goes, I've got me and the other wives, we have our own stash. I realize how ridiculous. I just looked at myself doing this. It's outrageous.
It's
Right.
fantastic.
But it sounds
it lends
It
so
sounds brilliant.
good.
not only that is it lends a bit of role play because it like got mandibles on.
Yeah, that's why I did it. I wanted to get into
But it
the
works.
character.
It works really well.
And there's this like, that the cheesy kill. I'm sorry, I've got to do it. It's the cheesy Kill Bill music. That bow, 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 the ridiculous one that was parodied in like 20 films after it came out. And they unwrap from all their stores, and they pull out like basically any weapon you can think of.
Is it a montage?
It's a montage of any. So basically,
It's like
anytime
an
you
early
need a
days
weapon,
Edgar Wright montage.
yeah, it is. And you've got any weapon. They're all rusted and they're broken down, and they need a bit of going. But there's weapons that have been collected. And so I think it also, because I just made this up. I like the idea that anyone that's landed and stranded on this place, they learn about the artifact, about time itself, about the priestess, which you guys may learn if this was a 3-parter, but it's only a 2-parter. And they maybe decide to give up their weapons to the cause and maybe stay. And so that's why you have all these different kinds of materials around. So anytime you need a weapon, you can take it. You've got anything at your disposal.
Cool.
And if you choose to pick a new weapon, the first time you use it, you can get an extra dice roll, I think, because it's the sort of, I don't know, I perhaps imagine that you'd be excited every time you get a chance to try something you never tried before, you know.
Ublek asks someone to pass him up the biggest hammer they can find.
So what? Okay,
the biggest hammer that they can find. Pal finds one of those ones that tests reflexes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say it's in Captain's pants, but
Brilliant. You're on board, Bad. I love it.
No, there is. I sort of like the idea that is the weapon that you've been given.
The reflex hammer.
Yeah, Pal's got his reflex hammer, and Ublek. Is it Uglek or Ublek? Doesn't matter.
Ublek.
Wow. Microaggression.
Oh, sorry. What I mean is I think I've been saying it wrong the whole time, and no one's corrected me. Therefore, it doesn't matter.
It's Ublek. Ublek.
Ublek.
Call him Harry. It's Harry's
Ublek. Yeah,
his common name.
Yeah, I'll just call you Harry, mate. I can't pronounce your foreign name.
Where'd you come from?
Yeah. No,
but like, where are you from? Yeah.
So Ublek's hammer is it's one of those that, like, it's not just a hammer. It's like also got a bit of a pike on it, and then at the end it's got a sword. So it's a hammer with, like, the end it's got a knife.
It's like a glaive, but with a tiny hammer on the end.
So it was
No, it's a glaive
for doing reflexes, but perfect for this.
Yeah. Terrible.
Why does he test reflexes like this?
I don't know, but everybody's reflexes. Fuck.
Yeah. So you guys are almost prepared when you hear the buzzing rising, and you know that you only have maybe a few minutes left before the mechanical buzzing whine of these beasts. And it's a little bit of like, an old CRT monitor is on and you can hear it in another room. You can hear that sort of, the whine that's almost imperceptible, and you only have a few minutes left to get yourselves ready. The High Priestess, just before you have your last few minutes to get ready, the High Priestess asks, gives some anything they have, any medical sort of paraphernalia they have, and they ask Pal if he would work with Dave on the battlefield to potentially work as like a field medic. Can you go with Dave back and forth and protect people and make sure they're okay?
And he hands the biggest gun that he's got off to someone else.
Yeah, and picks up his reflex hammer again.
Thank you.
Ben's got, like, I imagine she's got the biggest, like, 4 guns in each hand. Like,
I think it's going to be like Shaun of the Dead when it's like, they're all like hanging on his back, and then there's a whole brace of
a bazooka just slung over one shoulder.
She's ready.
So you have a couple of minutes left.
I've got to tell you, because I trust you. I'm not coming back from this one. Just get me there. Get yourself out alive, but just get me there.
Okay, Captain, no problem. I will take you there. I can do this.
That's why I trust you.
Part of
You've always been my
Yeah, that was a little bit.
favourite. Let's go.
It's like a tear rolling down his eye.
Is it one of those things that when he starts to acknowledge you and tell you that he loves you, you then don't care about him or like him anymore? Is it like one of those sordid relationships?
Just like my ex-girlfriend.
Like some sort of weird fan. No, okay. So, anything else? Anything else that anybody wants to do before the final battle commences? You have the calm before the storm. Brad, did you have any questions to ask? I think you had one question to ask.
Oh, that's timed out ages ago, and I didn't think of a question at the time. So,
all right, no worries. So describe to me the positions you're in when you hear the whine of the Armada intensify, the equivalent of the spears being banged against the floor. You know, you can feel the Queen's private forces about to and children about to attack.
So I imagine
I
Oobleck is just like, because there's no this like such a ramshackle broken down ship. There's no actual chair, and he's like sat on a bucket slightly lower than the actual controls. So he's working. He can barely see, so he is working purely off instinct.
Oh, that's good, Brad. That's such a good way of working like feelings into the idea of driving a ship. I absolutely love it. Can I even suggest that you have a little cushion? You know, and like our mum used to have to drive with a cushion because she was too short.
And it's like a little travel cushion as well, one of the U-shaped ones.
Yeah, a hemorrhoid cushion.
Like those blocks that Short Round has on his feet for driving a car in Indiana Jones.
That is awesome. Yes. Okay. So that's Oobleck in his position, ready to go.
Yeah, and Pin's just like, she's there, she's ready. Like she's like, if other people are getting upset and something, she doesn't really connect with that. She's just like, okay, gonna shoot some bad guys now. Okay, ready.
Pal is generating some goo
Oh.
to heal wounds with.
It's like an inboard
into the skin, it's
goo
fine.
producer.
Captain Darcy's at the back of the ship doing lunges, like heavy lunges. But what Oobleck doesn't see is that he's also taken a chain out from underneath his Metallica bootleg thing, and it's got a little ring on it, and he's rubbing the ring as he lunges.
This has got worse and worse, isn't it?
It was meant to be a beautiful moment, and I've ruined it.
It's after the watershed now, so we're fine. Well,
Johnny's thinking, why did I leave? Why did I leave and let them do this?
Yeah, our reputation is in shambles.
We're showing that we're versatile and we can do both.
It's true.
So the High Priestess witnesses this scene. She, just to remind people, the High Priestess Friskar Susan Lileya Chapovich.
Very
she
good.
Surveys this scene. She gives the nod, and Sade brings the baton down to hit the ballista to fire the spaceship, the ship out. At that exact moment, the doors to the compound explode outwards. They're almost like desiccated and exploded at the same time. And in approach the first swarm of peons of the Hive Armada. And I'd like you to all describe to me your first actions as the ship starts to leave the off. I don't know. I assume it goes off on its own, but whether you want to have to activate an engine, you have to fire it up. You know,
I assume he has no idea.
Fire the ballista.
Yeah.
The ballista goes bang. It's unhooked. It fires. But then, as you're flying through the air, what do you do? What's the first thing you do?
Oobleck, this is an alien ship, so he doesn't know really how to drive it. So he's just performing similar actions that he thinks would work.
I love it. Oobleck. That's just hilarious.
You know what? I was thinking about, like, you know, in Battlestar Galactica when Starbuck gets into the ship and she's like, right, everything's got like pitch,
Into the
yaw,
silent
roll
streak,
and
yeah.
throttle.
Love it.
And so she works all that out so she can fly it. I sort of felt like you'd know that, you know?
Yeah, that's the Oobleck.
Badly, but you know.
Oobleck doesn't think through that. He's like, yes, engine start, full throttle.
Yeah, just doing all the same shit he always does. Yeah, no, I love it. I'm happy to see that be three. That's three. That's three dice.
Three solid
I think
dice.
it fits into the B movie theme as well because they just flick switches. There's no logic.
Yeah, there's no logic. Yeah.
So that's 2 critical successes and a 6 for a regular success.
Wow.
Oh.
I should not be so lax with my dice, I think.
Yeah.
So anything that you do in this ship, you like. I think that you perhaps Ublek doesn't realize his own intuition. So like intuition is just really it's just skill that you've honed till it's automatic, right? So Ublek can
some
sit
ways,
behind
yeah.
any machine and just
Get it
work
working.
it.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
just knows it,
He knows
even
how to
though he
fly a
might
ship.
not realize how it works.
Yeah. Should have been a pilot and not an explorer.
Well, if you
I've done
explore
way more
alone,
piloting than
yeah, I know you
anything
have, haven't
else.
you? Maybe I should have put some exploring in instead. No, you pointed everyone in the right direction, didn't you? You know.
Yeah, true.
But as an explorer, if you're a solo explorer, because let's be honest, no one's clamoring to go exploring with Ublek, you have to fly your own plane in all these places, right? So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you'd know how
that's
to get yourself
that's
out of the
thought.
wormhole
That's
and
the
whatnot.
thought.
So you're absolutely going to hit your target. You are in the zone. You're just in the zone, man. You're in flow state. And your success. Did you get one success? Two successes?
I've got
two
two critical successes.
I'm going to push you to ask me two questions now. It can be anything. Don't have to be good questions either. But...
I assume, and this is just like a question and an assumption, that once Darcy and the Queen meet, that time is then going to reverse back to when it was. That's going to be the activation.
So, okay.
So the question is that true?
It's possible, but it would depend, I suppose, on the actions of Captain Darcy.
Right.
And do you trust Captain Darcy as he currently is to make the right decision?
Well, of course, Ublek trusts Captain Darcy.
But reversing time is a possible outcome when the alien artifact meets with the Hive Armada, right? The brains behind the Hive Armada. So reversing time is one of the possible outcomes. Yeah.
Okay. And the next question is, do we have any way of getting back to the ship after this is all over?
So before, yes. So, and I assume you would have talked about this as well, but it's good. So it's good that you asked this question. So, Captain Darcy was able to contact Jackson. No, not Jackson. What's the guy called? Crewman.
He's dead now.
He's
Crewman
dead now,
is
though,
dead.
isn't he?
But he sent the shuttle
The
into
engineering
orbit
shuttle, yeah.
to collect you guys. To sort of do like almost like a swooping run, sort of park up. You guys jump in, pow, straight back off.
Okay.
And go back up to the ship.
Yeah.
When this is...
Ublek's gonna have to find a way to get out of the Hive ship.
Yeah.
But don't worry, Pilot Islet will sort you out. It'll be absolutely fine.
Nice.
Pilot Islet.
Is that Crewman Newman's spouse? Then
no, we just we
unrelated.
figured out that Crewman Newman has no living relatives.
Yeah.
okay.
So, but he could have been his best mate. You never know. And protege. So he may be the next in line to try and take over the captaincy. So with that success as well, you can decide where are you going to meet. Are you going? So the Queen was traveling towards you, but you're driving the ship. Do you? I have a feeling that if you want to drive. I think, okay, the scout will have told the Queen about what you've been doing because the scout was, sort of paying attention. They would have sent the information back to
didn't it?
Yeah, but it transmitted some of its information forward.
Right.
So I think the Queen has retreated back to the ship in an attempt. This is what you can see as you're flying over with your double success. Is that the Queen is retreating back to the ship to try and gather forces and power while her armada is trying to destroy the temple, right? She has gone into hiding because she knows that that you will come to her. So she wants it to be on her turf. So with that double success, you know that you're aiming directly for that, downed Hive ship. As that's happening, and I assume Captain Darcy is still doing his lunges, the sort of the bee-like creatures, the wasp-like creatures come into the compound, and bang, 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 they slice through 6 of the sort of robed fighters immediately. Some of them are really badly injured. Some of them are partially injured. it's not pretty. What do you do?
Well, Pin's gonna pick them off. Basically, she's gonna start firing at them and lay out, and probably shout out to whoever else ramshackle group that she's trained in a montage, which
Yes,
looks
yeah.
like it's taken like a week, but actually it's been like 15 minutes, maybe an hour. Yeah, she's gonna go, like covering fire, you idiots! Come on, it's logic, do it. And then the medical people, they can go and they can look after the people who's not very well, and then we have more people. So let's do that, and I'll shoot these buggers, these people.
All right.
Just tell me who you want me to spray my goo over.
The people who hurt, I think that would be good. Yeah.
So that's 3 rolls, Christine, definitely, because not only are you remembering that there's a medic and that's part of the thing, but you also reminded me that you did a montage. I like that. I like the Blades in the Dark style. Oh, by the way, I did this beforehand, didn't I? Sort of thing.
Love it.
So I had 1 fail,
Mm-hmm.
I had 1 success, and I had 1 crit.
Lovely.
1 critical success.
Lovely. Okay, great. So you easily take the first wave out. You're trained soldiers, and you can feel that well of pride that the first wave go down. It remains to be seen whether the people can be patched up correctly with the goo. But there's no real threat immediately until the second wave comes. What would you like to know from your success?
I'd like to know if there's a likelihood of succeeding, or if there's any, because isn't the pod traveling over these? Is that having any effect, the pheromone stuff yet?
Well, until Captain Darcy or someone else sort of switches on the radar and starts to attempt to do whatever it is they want to do to these creatures, then you don't know anything's happening at the moment, but there's a slight lull, before the second wave, that maybe something can be affected.
Cool. Okay, reload everybody. Now we should some more bad guys. So good. That's it. That's her idea of a pep talk. It's like, come on, just get to the job. It's all good.
Great flying, Oobleck. Looks like Ben's taken down the first wave. We might be able to get in there without any hassle.
Oh, that's the plan. Always the plan.
And what does the android do on the ground? Ryan.
Spray my goo. Who needs goo spraying all over them?
Oh, okay. I just thought you might want to find out whether you've succeeded or not. So you're just going to spray goo on people, are you? What's your? Do you want to tell me what you're doing? I want to be able to visualize it. I can't just
I've got plenty of visualization.
Yeah, I just have a nebulous thing about
So with Pal, he's got to shake his goo quite vigorously to make sure the
I shouldn't
compounds.
have asked.
You did this.
To make all the compounds mix, right? And get to the right temperature.
Do you have to store it in a cool, dry place? Like basically everything that you ever buy.
I think a cool, dry place is what Pal is.
Wow.
That's a good freeze frame, by the way. I think we should all freeze frame, just so we can take this out and make it a YouTube thumbnail.
All right, cool. So, what was I saying? Vigorous shaking. Yeah, no, it's just so after successfully launching the ballista, he would say something like, "Wow, that was truly an arrow to the heart," and then come back down, and then he'd be making sure that he's just got to be going people up. But he's like how in Ratatouille, when what's his name is on the roller skates delivering all the plates. He's like that, going around everyone, just roller skating around.
He's got wheels on his legs.
Yeah, he's deployed wheelies.
Deployed my
Heelys.
Yeah, deployed my Heelys, and I'm going up the people so we can have a better defense.
Lovely.
However, though, the problem with wheeling around is, and my loose, my loose couplings is that if I fail this roll, then my body's going to go one way and my legs go another.
I failed the roll.
Yes. I love that you spent half of this episode just in halves.
What does your top half do while the bottom
still
half is
spray-
roller
what-
skating around?
So
It's still
you
spraying
know,
goo,
like
isn't it?
in,
Right.
Just
you know,
like
like
straight into
in-
the air.
Still go everywhere, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say he like spins like, and then it's the moment where everything slows down, and it's like the opera music because he's just spraying. Yeah. As he's spraying goo over everywhere. So you know, who knows what happens to some of that goo? Maybe it heals some of the first wave. You know, that's the problem.
But you
problem
failed,
with-
so invariably it doesn't. But
no,
it
it's
looks beautiful. Everybody's dead, but
Everybody's just covered in my
But it
covered
looks
in
but,
my
like
goo.
but it looks wonderful, and it's given maybe some sort of excitement for the next. You know, people are ready for the. No, I don't know how that would excite them. No, they're all miserable. The pep talk was okay, but the fact that all their comrades are dead, they're not really feeling
Everyone's
the second
died. They're now
wave.
covered in glue. And they
Yeah,
don't know what it
It's
is.
horrendous. But so now we're feeling like this is going to be like one of those things, you know, and they don't have the CGI budget. They rush the ending. It's like 5 minutes and done, and like everything's chaos, right? So if you feel like you want to be doing something to help, interject, tell me, throw an idea in there, do it, because it's just chaos from here on out. Because Captain Darcy still is.
He's now at the
about to-
airlock. We come back. He's at the airlock, and he's like braced either side of it. You can see the world sliding down behind him.
Wait, so you guys you guys are going up to the thingy? You're
Yeah.
not going.
And like the Airwolf theme tune music is playing, and he looks up at Oblek and says, "It's been a fucking honor." And then he just throws himself out, pelvis first, aiming at Anne. Who is
As
the
he jumps, he's
High
like, "Oh no, wait, Captain! Who's going to be the captain after you?"
Yeah.
Don't sit in the chair as he goes down. So he's aiming. He's just
Okay.
thrown himself, aiming at Anne, which is the name of the Queen of the Hive Armada, just
Okay.
hoping that it'll hit her pelvis first.
So what you can do is when you've yeah, okay, let's roll for that. Let's do 2 for that, because
Okay.
I feel like you're an expert at thrusting.
I am an expert at thrusting. That is a
first.
3 and a 6.
Excuse me. Right. 3 and a 6. What does that come out as?
That is
one's a
two
critical
feelings.
success, right?
No, I'm 2
Oh, of
for
course.
critical success.
Right.
He's all feelings.
Right. So you had 2 successes, did you?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great. Well, then you can see perfectly that the destruction that the rest of the crew caused in the last episode has there was an explosion inside,
Mhm.
and it has weakened the structure around certain areas, which, when they crash landed, has left several, hexagonal holes in the
I'm so
in the
proud of them.
hive.
I'm so proud of them as I do it.
Done a good job. They've done a good job. So you are able to. So you're just flying in, just love it.
Yeah, just straight at the center of the.
So you know exactly where to
I can
go.
feel her. I can
Yeah,
feel her. We've got
you
a bond.
You can. Maybe it's the something else. Maybe it's the alien artifact. Maybe it's the bond you had once with with Anne, the Hive Queen, who
Queen.
back then I assume had no such lordly title. I don't.
No.
I wish she just
She's
no,
just
she
Anne.
was just Anne. Yeah. So you make a good shot and you disappear into one of the holes. At that moment, as you sort of you feel the end coming, the second wave are readying themselves. Some are climbing up the walls, and it's going to take some real creative action on
I'm
the
gonna
ground. to
get
them
the
off.
get the comms and say to Ublek, will you hit the bloody big red button? You know, the one that does the disruption thing. Can you do that now?
Trying not to crash.
Hit the
try
big
not to
red button. It's
crash.
big. It's
If
right
I-
there.
if I
Don't
leave, I
use the
crash.
village.
Yeah,
Well,
fine.
just whatever you do, hit the big red button first, then crash, because you know
So,
it's
so
more
Um,
logical.
Oobleck
wait,
lets
one
go of the
second.
controls.
Oobleck, hit the grey button. Ping keeps forgetting that you're colorblind.
So what are you doing, Ublek?
So Oobleck lets go of the controls, runs to the center of the ship where the pheromone station is, and just hits the first button he sees.
All right, I think that's a roll without Captain Darcy for the moment. Just the rest of the 3 of you. If you just roll for your style, I know you're good enough now to be giving me your styles. I don't need to push for any other particular role.
It is,
Let me know how much you succeeded.
win.
And
One success.
One
Lovely.
success.
No
win.
criticals, just three, just a success each.
The straight wins.
Very nice. Okay, well, oh man, it's like a mixture of anxiety and deja vu. Like everybody feels, you just feel something's wrong, and it's like almost like a vibration. You know, when you're in a nightclub and sometimes the bass is so much that you think, is this going to alter my actual heartbeat? Is this like defibbing me? You know, and you sort of the entire building just shakes.
Is it gonna wiggle a poo at me?
Yes. Can this? Yeah, exactly. This is bassy, more baritone than my high priestess. And you feel it, and you feel on edge. Like if somebody said they were shooting an EMP at you, and you'd be like, you'd feel it as like a placebo. It'd be weird. So like you're feeling something is happening. The problem is that the pheromone machine needs to be directed. So you have the creatures still climbing up the walls. They're coming in. They're starting to murder some of the people on the top of the balcony. They're disposable. One does the Wilhelm scream. People are being massacred.
Okay.
None of the important characters, obviously, all of the peons.
So Ublek then it runs back to the controls before it crashes and manages to direct it so that it crashes into the main thrust of the hive.
Okay. So you're aiming to. Okay. Now. Okay. I'm gonna have to. I think it's probably one dice, but I'm gonna say it's lasers, Brad. That's very. It's a very
Okay.
technical decision.
One.
He did it.
You got it.
He did it.
I believe you, Brad. I fucking believe you.
Amazing.
That's great because I did not have a fail condition for that, so I was like, oh my god, I wonder what happens. There's a really fucking hell.
Straight
Brad,
into the tower.
what you do is you're
That
not
dice
only
for Arion well.
Yeah, it's the red one. It's the red
He
one.
rolled a 1. He rolled low.
so your ship not only pierces the hive perfectly, but it keeps you safe. It fires you out the other side. It activates. Fucking hell, I'm going to do it all. It activates a beacon in it, which I assume that you your instinct means you'd pressed a bunch of buttons earlier on that activated the beacon to alert the shuttle to your location, right? But not just that. As you come flying through the building, the drones create a protective barrier around the hive. So they're not fighting, they're not fucking, but they are creating almost like a sort of they're covering all of the holes of the hive, but they're doing it in a way that feels like they're keeping the things inside safe. So they're on the side of anyone that's inside. So whilst it might seem like it's a dangerous thing to happen, I almost feel like it's comforting. They change the hum and rhythm to almost like they're in harmony. So you feel almost like some Marvin Gaye or some it's creating like a lustrous, you know what I mean? Like when you hear the music and you're yeah. And if you're on your own, maybe it just puts you in a chill. But if you're with somebody else, maybe you're like, oh, okay. So they're creating like this sort of beautiful harmonic frequency. And we're going to cut back to Captain Darcy. And what you've done is you've shot through the hive ship. Wherever Captain Darcy had landed, it has collapsed the floor, and him and the Queen land in her chambers together because of the floor.
On the bed.
That's what happens when you roll a one
side by side, right?
with with the lasers. When that's it. You get a critical success.
Listen, Anne. Nice to see you again. And obviously, she's hideous now, right? So she's
Yeah.
And Queen Anne, she's hideous, and she's Irish.
Brilliant.
That's not a connection, by the way.
No, it's
there's
not a
no
connection.
connection.
It's
no
not a connection.
yes, yes,
Not a connection. But it's just the one accent you haven't done, I don't think, yet.
Shall I? Where from in Ireland?
Wherever you feel comfortable.
She's got to have a Belfast accent.
Go
hasn't
for it
she?
then.
That's really
for it.
hard.
The
though.
Belfast Lily.
Why did you do that to yourself?
And she's got a buzz a little like a bee as well, of course. Yeah, she looks hideous, but she looks hideous because she's got there's one bit in
She was struck by lightning. 'cause of
Yeah.
Her face,
She was.
literally is made of
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of things, and they come
Yeah,
apart and back
that's
in
it.
and stuff like
That's
that.
exactly it. There's this bit in Constantine where there's like a thing made out of bugs, and it's like it looks awesome. But yeah, so like she's just got her face is shifting, and it's almost like her newest brood is
Yeah.
on her face and body. Like she's
You look
birthed
as
alive.
gorgeous as the day I met you.
Okay, hold
It's
on.
like that bit in
Belfast,
Family Guy where
Belfast.
Death takes his takes his thing. off. You're like, ah! Well, he's fine, isn't he?
The fuck are you doing here? That's my Belfast. The fuck are you doing here?
I came to say sorry.
Sorry for what?
Oh, I mean, you okay with all this?
You couldn't. I've got power. I've got people. I've got a fluctuating accent. I've got I've got everything I can ask for. I don't need you.
There's
I
one
don't
thing
even
you
know
haven't
what you're
got.
doing here.
There's one thing you haven't got. It's me, Anne.
You're gonna have to do better than that to convince
No.
me.
I don't mean me. I mean me, obviously. But you don't need that. Because you're a robot, come wasp, come bee, come alien hideousness now. Beautiful, but hideous. What you want, what's inside me, you know? And I don't mean the way as last time.
There's a horny hornet joke in there somewhere. If you can work it out.
You know, I've been looking for this. But hold on, I've lost it.
That's George fucking Best.
That's George fucking Best. I've been.
That's how I channel mine.
I've been looking for this alien artifact for a long time.
Yeah,
You know what? I'm gonna go to a time before you came in here and into my life and did this to me and just left me there or disappeared or whatever actually happened. I can't remember.
See, the thing is, I'm still better than you because I found it first. And the thing is, you're going to have to take it from my dead body.
I'm going to take no pleasure. No, I went Australian. I'm going to take no pleasure in this. And then
I can guarantee you will.
And
And
she's
he-
got all of her shifting face. It all sort of disappears, and it's just pure, like hideous insect, like a sort of, you know, when they like Alien 4. Oh man, and they got a hideous alien with a nose. So it's
Yeah.
like a wasp head, but
that's
with like the skeleton of a person.
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible.
Pin, pal, Oobleck, I love you. And then he goes in and he kisses the disgusting skeleton.
All right, let's take 3 rolls for feelings to see how this works out. What's happening in the meantime while this is going on with all 3 of you? I know
You're not going to believe this roll, but we'll go to other people first.
Okay. What are you guys doing in the meantime? The things are bearing down on you, but you just need to hold on just a little longer to see what
I
happens.
thought they were all around the.
The drones.
They are, but the ship was too close to the hive when it turned on. The second wave is still bearing down on you. You just need to clear the second wave out. What are you
Oobleck.
guys
It's all
doing?
right. Pin's
Oobleck
like,
becomes
bang.
flying through the window, hammer glaive in hand. Just smashes into the first insect.
Okay. Are you back to back? That's what I like to see. I think maybe Oobleck
Eventually,
and
he
Pin are
works
back
his
to
way
back.
back. Yeah.
So you've got gun and hammer going off at the same time, right? Back to
I
back.
think
And then while they're back to back, out of nowhere, just between them, you see this beautiful fountain of
Oh,
green
no.
spray. And
Hang on.
I'm below
Surely
them.
you're doing a Jason Statham in the transporter where you're moving,
Sliding around.
sliding on oil and taking people's legs out underneath them and stuff like that.
And somehow also from I think it's Jason Statham from what is it? Is it Romeo Must Die? He's got to also have like a hose pipe. You know when he uses a
Yeah.
hose pipe to beat
Yeah.
people up.
Like a
You've
nunchuck.
also got a
Yeah.
hose pipe and you're spraying your
love
goo
it.
around.
Love
There you
it.
go.
I also think like so like how in some alien B movies, or well, no, like space B movies, when for some reason there's lots of very human furniture that's just been kind of painted a little bit glittery. There's a chandelier with a rope, and Pin's like, she just grabs the chandelier, she just cuts it with a knife, and she's going up and
Yes.
kind of thing, and up into the air.
Absolutely.
I love it.
But
And then it
she holding
collapses to the
one
ground
with
and catches like
three
6 or 7 of
guns.
them.
Yeah, and just going spinning around the room.
Love it. Yeah. Well, listen, it's
With 3
coming
hands,
to
you
a-
could get 3 axes, couldn't you? So it'd literally be a sphere of bullet.
Oh yeah. Well, she's put her knitting down, so she's got all four.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, she's got 4
free,
hands, I
So
forgot
one's
about
on the
that.
rope. Yeah, you're right.
3,
Yeah.
3D.
She's
So-
been knitting this whole time, so she's only been half power.
So everyone might be dead, but they'll all have jumpers at the end of it. So that'd be
Yeah,
nice.
pretty much.
You're knitting them like a flag
Yeah.
to put over their coffin or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody except Oobleck because he keeps insulting her mother.
Yeah. Well, maybe
Um,
that's it. Oobleck must die is written on a shroud. I told him it's Bin, not Bin.
So with this scene, a last stand, if you will, that could end badly if the Hive Queen demands it, I suppose. We cut back to Captain Darcy, who tells us, Dan tells us what he rolled on his 3 dice for lasers, as you were attempting.
What have we got? No, 3 2s. Shut
No,
up.
it's 2 2s and a 5, but 3 2s would have been amazing, but 2 2s and a 5 is still impressive.
Fucking
Wow.
hell.
So that's 5
Brad and
successes.
Dan, man.
Everyone's rolled really well.
Yeah, it's been a good.
Apart from
good-
the one failure from Ryan, unfortunately.
I've failed so many times.
Have
My
you?
body has gone.
He's fallen in
flying.
half, but that's been brilliant.
Well, the objective, I can tell you that I suppose this can function as one of your questions, unless you want to ask questions to the Hive Queen while you're about to sort of consummate.
Did she ever really love me?
Of course I fucking loved you. Of course I did. I did all of this for you to get you here. I just wanted to see you again. You left me and fucking it's hard. Okay. It's hard. Excuse my accent. All people from Belfast, I'm not taking the piss. Although I do have to say fucking at the start of every sentence to get into the accent.
Or I know.
No, that's too hard.
No.
That's George fucking Best.
I'll tell you that story when we go off air. That's brilliant.
So she says yes, of course she did. She always loved you. Yes, she did.
Well, then I will use the other critical success to do, if I can pull off my sneaky last minute 3rd act twist. So I let her merge with me in the hope that she can get the alien artifact. It's an amazing merging. There's almost fireworks off in the back. Like you see like bits of the nanobots explode in fireworks bit by bit. But what Captain Darcy didn't tell anyone was that what he actually merged with the something else isn't the alien artifact that she was looking for, but actually the cure to the nanobots, the Hive Armada. It's just binary for the binary code for love. And it overwhelms the lasers of the Hive Armada, all robots, all nothing. And it overloads their senses with the binary code for love.
This
And
is
they-
so Barbarella.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? And and there's fireworks, and Anne and Darcy are floating through the air. His body slowly sort of maybe disintegrating.
Sounds
We're
like
not
something
quite
out of
sure what's
Moulin
happening.
Rouge, but with lots
Yeah.
of robot wasps.
Exactly, that's it. Robot Wasp Moulin Rouge, and as it does, obviously the hive starts to disintegrate because they can't. It overloads their senses. They don't understand what that is, and the hive slowly drops like flies or wasps dying, being sprayed with a spray, left, right, and centre, and the hive itself slowly sort of disintegrates as well, and one big, maybe in a heart-shaped explosion.
Yeah, of
base.
course. Why not? Why
Yeah.
the fuck not? It seems right, doesn't it?
And that's That
And
was what happened.
we sort of fade out. We have one of those fade montages, you know, where you fade out to that. You fade into the second wave on the walls and the ground of the temple all collapsing as well. You cut to the cheering of the sort of cloaked, clad figures in their temple of love. They all start having an orgy. That's fine. That's their thing.
Like Matrix.
Like the Matrix, like Matrix Reloaded.
Pal's got met the queen during, not the queen, the princess Frisco during all of this.
Well, what happens is Pal's legs have to go and drag Pal's body away from the orgy, right? And put them back together and head to back. I think
He's just taking notes.
Yeah, anatomical notes. He's interested in the anatomy of it.
And it's like printing.
Yeah. And Pin, of course,
can
has
it
all
be-
of the weapons, don't they?
Can
And
the
they have- maybe
binary
they
be
store that.
transmitted? Can the binary be transmitted to PAL? Can the
Oh, yeah.
binary code for love
Yeah.
be transmitted to PAL?
Yeah, I think particularly with your sort of your double critical success on the last roll, yes, I think it gets transmitted to Pal and
Like Brad said, he sees the priestess.
He finds love. He understands love. He wants love. He's got love, and he loves himself, not in an egotistical way, but he understands love, and that's the first step to finding it, isn't it?
And
so, like,
Pal
that's
goes to the priestess and says,
very Wizard of Oz, isn't it?
"You make me weak at the knees."
Brilliant.
And his body
Brilliant.
His body falls off.
Brilliant.
It's so ridiculous.
I love it. I love
Well,
it.
then maybe there's that, you know, when you have a really corny montage and everyone's like, wait, what? It ended like that? Maybe there's a bit where they just wave off Pal, who's left who stays there at the thing, you know, to look over the temple and rebuild, and you know, because he's the medical officer, and he's obviously so he'll stay there, and his legs wave off as well. One of them waves off.
While Captain Darcy is inside of this chamber, he will be having weird, feverish dreams about from the something else. What that will be, we will never know. But let's get him back to a consortium ship where he can get proper treatment.
No. So yeah, so we have our various montages, and we have a montage of Pin stealing a few weapons, you know, or being gifted a few of the weapons that she, you know, that they really wanted. You know,
She gets promoted to security officer as well.
picked up by but no red shirt. Maybe you have to
No
dye
red
the
shirt.
shirt a different color. The ship picks you up. You go back up. You're on the ship, and you know you've got new positions, and you start to maybe Ublek has made changes to the captain's chair, where it's. I don't know if he's the sort to make.
No,
people sit on it as a
I
joke.
don't think Ublek would have known that there's anything wrong with the captain's chair.
So he's just sitting there as like a time bomb that may one day go off.
Pal refills the cyanide canisters.
Unknowingly.
Wink.
Yeah, and Pin gets that gun officially, and no paperwork has to ever be done.
I think
all the
she's not
paperwork's done
wearing
for her.
a red shirt because she's wearing one that she's knitted.
Yes,
and
yeah, exactly.
she's knitted one for all the crew. That's it.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
more red shirts. It's such a waste of people. You know, you train these people and you just chuck them in a cannon fodder. I mean, what the fuck is that about?
Yeah, I love it.
You know, it's so much paperwork, and it's not digital on this ship. It's all paperwork.
Ublek
Nah,
definitely
not that.
tie-dyes his jumper.
And she's furious.
Yeah,
She
of
didn't
course.
hate you before.
He spells her name wrong on the front as well.
Yeah. And so the good ship Raptor flies on into consortium space to find a new adventure. And how is Captain Darcy remembered or honoured, or is there a last moment from Captain Darcy to take us out into? This is the final of the season as well. Let's say this is the last one they'll ever do, and then they shit can it after this. They axe it after this. what happens? Do we get a tease of Captain Darcy in the stars? Do we hear a final line of wisdom?
Yeah. The thing you got to know is no matter how much you lead with the hip, you got to lead with the heart. And I hope my crew always remember to lead with the heart. Credit roll.
I love it. Thank you, everyone. That was wonderful.
That
Thank
was
you. Good work.
fantastic.
Thank you,
No DMCA.
Yeah, it was fantastic. All right. Well, thanks everyone for bearing with us, and also apologies to everyone because that went on a lot longer than we expected. But I was having a lot of
enjoyed
fun.
ourselves.
We are back to our usual programming next Monday, where we'll carry on in Arian Well, and we'll be putting this up as a podcast at one point. And we're open to any ideas that anyone has. If they're interested in us doing a particular one shot, or one sheet, or anything they want us to try our hand at, we'll give it a go. I've been very nerdy, and over the weekend I've compiled a Excel spreadsheet of all of the tabletop role-playing games.
Can confirm because he forced me to help him.
I made
do
Ryan
it as
help
well.
me do it, which I'm
and
going to
we've
share with
got
everybody.
52 different.
Something like that.
Something like
So
that.
there's
yeah.
plenty
One
of
for every
options. Yeah, that's
A
a
whole
different kind
year's worth of
challenge,
one
isn't it?
shots. Holy cow.
So we're looking for any of your input, suggestions, and if you just Ryan will give you the details in a second, but share, like, subscribe, all the usual stuff, because it only takes you guys a second to do it, but it's the only way we're ever going to get shared really and spread around is if in the algorithm is seeing us rise and seeing different people sort of glom onto it.
We need to rise like the tower and be prosperous like the
Goo?
Like Captain Darcy.
Oh.
like Captain Darcy, So you can find us at Bloodsong Party on Twitter and Blood and Song on Facebook and Instagram. If you go for Blood and Song Arian Well in YouTube, you can find us a nice way to beat the pesky algorithm there. Make sure you are, as Sean said, you're subscribing, you're smashing the notification button and dinging that bell, and we want you guys to help us be the platform that builds us all up together, and then we get to shout you out like we do for Taj all the time, because he's there every week in the comments, and we love him for it.
Love you, Taj.
Okay, well, thanks everyone. I look forward to joining you guys as our regular characters next week.
Less.
Also,
Well,
go on. Less
definitely.
phallic references.
Well, the thing is, we are about to
misogyny
go to the
and
revel, and it does
casual
look pretty horny there, so can't promise anything, can we?
Well, what we
I
can
can.
promise is that we're level 7, because that's what we've been told in a text message the other day. So we will be doing our level 7 character stuff, and we'll probably be able to talk about it at the start of the stream next week. So that'll be fun. So yeah.
Thank you, Sean,
Thanks,
for a
everyone.
wicked game.
Thanks, Sean.
No, it's good
Yes,
fun.
thank
Listen,
you, mate.
Lazy
That
Ceilings
was
is nothing
really
without
fun.
you
Very
guys.
good.
That's the whole point. Thank you very much. But as everyone will attest to watching it, Lazy Feelings is nothing without you guys and your imaginations as well. That's the whole point. So I just keep it on the rails, and you guys, you're supposed to do, is take it off of it.
What,
So
rails?
that was amazing.
Yeah.
What rails? Yeah, exactly. All right. Thanks, you guys. Thanks, everyone at home. We'll see you soon.